it's going to be good and it's going to be worth your time. So thank you guys so much for trusting and for investing into yourselves by showing up in the first place. So my name is Aurora Gutierrez. I am part of the Gutierrez team. Some people will say I'm the better half of the Gutierrez team, but that's up for debate depending on who you ask. But yes, Hector is my husband, and he's the listing agent. I am the buyer's agent, and I also handle a lot of like the operation. He makes more money than me. So we follow Keller Williams, we follow the MREA. That's how we like to run our business. Our team right now, I have to take this moment. So our team right now, we are 100%, so we are capped. We were actually able to cap within 2 months. So capped, for those of you who don't know, we're actually earning 100% of our income for every check from here all the way until next February. And so we've already closed 10 escrows this year, and we have 10 in escrow right now. Production team, that's what we consider ourselves. We are here to do business. We're not here to do 1 or 2 deals. So as a team, that's why we are qualified to be here. That's why I'm qualified. Production. Me and my knowledge personally, a lot of the time for 8 years, so we've built everything that we have together. My side, because I can't sit here and tell Hector's story for him, right? So everyone has a story. Everyone has their. Well, at least I have. Really walked me through every stage that I've gone through. So this class is going to be a lot about mindset, hitting your goals, why you're not hitting your goals, why you hit your goals and stop there. So there's a lot of that going on in this class. So like I said earlier, I started in lending, and then I moved over to real estate. And I used to be the one that said I would never do sales, ever. Oh my gosh, no, I would never make calls, I would never do sales, I would be so bad at it. No way. But I loved managing and I loved training people. Fun fact, I was actually a manager at In-N-Out Burger before this, and then I went to Wells Fargo, and then I came here. But at In-N-Out, I loved teaching and training the newbies that would come in, and I was like SpongeBob, like I wanted to be on the grill, and like I wanted to like, you have to put the cheese like this. Like I was very, very specific, and there I actually learned that I love teaching and training, and I love people say, get up, keep going. That's my kind of, that's my jam. If you want me to get moving, tell me I can't do something. It's basically how I function. So I'm going to go through this to tell a lot of personal stories. Everybody knows my story, and I'm an open book. I have no secrets here. So I'm going to tell a lot of personal stories. One, because I think that if I start with vulnerability, then you guys will open up too. You don't have to tell everybody your story, but you'll be on your packet and you can be real with yourself. So if you're going to sit here for this long, you might as well get something out of it and really dig deep while you're doing it. Okay? So we're going to get started. For those who don't seem to accomplish much. What would you guys say? Discipline?
Mindset.
Consistency?
The ability to do the things that the other group is not willing to do.
Yes. So as we go through these questions, think about this. Are you that person who's achieving at the highest level, or are you not accomplishing much? Okay, so get real with yourself as we go through this class, because we're talking about two different people there. And you're right, absolutely. Discipline, your mindset, consistency, doing what nobody wants to do, for sure, right? So just kind of think about that question, because we're going to basically discover what it is that makes those two people different. All right, so defining the 6 personal perspectives. The first is your mindset. Your mindset, how do you look at things? When you show up in the world, what do you actually see? Because as you guys know, mindset, everything. It is everything. Attitudes. And your attitude, once you've decided how you're going to look at that day, what attitude are you going to carry throughout that day, right? And then the last thing is your, here's, it's loading. Oh, is it loading? Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see the little circle. So the last thing is your approach to life. So when you put all of these 3 things together, these 3 things together create your approach to life. Okay, so what mindset, what attitude do you have to create that approach that you have to life? And Gary Keller, in your packet at the bottom, he talks about how mindset is key. So I'm going to go ahead and read that little paragraph just because I really like what it says. It says, Gary has said, when you interview the very top people and ask them what their biggest challenge is, invariably they will tell you it is mindset. Keeping it strong, focused, and positive amid the many challenges they encounter every day on their way to the top. Gary continues, life is an inside to the outside experience. When you get this at a deep level, you realize that who you are inside determines and drives you on the outside. The very best achievers know this and therefore truly work on and protect their mindset. Okay, so again, these 3 things all together, when you work on them and you make them stronger, that's what creates those high achievers compared to the ones that are not achieving very much. Because you can achieve on accident, right? You can, there's those people who just show up and win sometimes, and you're like, I've been practicing all this time. This dude never comes and, wins. So that can happen. You can succeed on accidents. You can. Now, how far are you going to get? How many people are you going to bless on your way? That's the differentiator. Okay? All right, next page. So defining the 6 personal perspectives. These are the 6 sections that we're going to be going through today. The first one is commit to self-mastery. That would mean I'm going to nail it. I'm going to master this. Okay? The next one is commit to the 80-20 principle. I'm going to focus on my big rocks. The 80-20 principle is one of the, in my opinion, one of the more important ones to master, especially in the business of real estate. Because when you start real estate, you're so excited. You want your website, you want your business cards, you want the shirt with your logo on it, you want the mugs, you want everything. The last thing that you want to do is get on the phones and have people tell you to get the F off, right? That's the last thing you want to do. Last thing you want to do is go knock on the door and just hope to God that somebody friendly opens and they actually want to sell the house. That's the last thing you think about. So we all tend to focus on all the 80% instead of the 20, and then we wonder why our business isn't taking off, right? For me, my thing is, I think as long as Hector's known me, I'm like, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. And everybody knows that if you eat right and work out, you'll be fine. But I'm over here, I'm looking for the manuals. I want the cute outfits for when I go to the gym. What's because I don't have the right shoes, right? Like, it's because I need to go to a boot camp, or no, you know what, I need to go to a CrossFit. Like, you're looking at everything else when you know that if you just eat right and work out, you're going to lose weight, right? So that one's a huge one when it comes to real estate and life, honestly. The next one is move from E to P. I am purposeful about breaking through my ceiling of achievement. So for those of us who are here who are already producing in real estate, this is huge. This is really, really huge. Because some of us have already been where you new agents are, where it's just scary or exciting and you're barely getting going. Well, now you did it. You've done some sales. You've invested. You're at a certain level of like income where you're pretty comfortable, and you know you got more in you, and you know that you can do bigger things. Maybe invest more. Maybe hire more people to your team. All that kind of stuff. But we're stuck for some reason. For some reason, we're choosing to just stay right there. So for us who have already been in the business for a while, that's huge. Huge one that we're going to focus on today. The next one, make being the foundation of your action plan. I am willing to be taught. I always pursue learning. One of my favorite things about Keller Williams is there's constantly classes that you can be taking. If you feel that you don't know anything, it's because you're not showing up. Period. Because there's so many trainings with this company. It's a right? So be willing to be taught. When you show up to those classes, take everything in and put it on an action plan on how you're going to actually implement it. Because at the same time, if you guys have questions or comments, just raise your hand or just throw it out there because I will talk forever. Removing your limiting beliefs. I unlimit my thinking and my success. It is like, at least and limiting beliefs, by the way, is something that you have to work on all the time. This is not something that goes away. Like once I teach this class multiple times and everything, I'm probably still going to have limiting beliefs because maybe a big producer work on not having them. And the last thing, be accountable. I said it at the beginning, I love accountability. You give me a 75 hard challenge, a 66 day challenge, anything like that, and I'm on it. I love it. That's just like how I function. I like to win. I don't like to lose. So like if you give me something like that, I love it. Accountability looks different for everyone, but the most important type of accountability is going to be your own. Because we can all BS each other, right? I can say I'm on 75 hard, and actually, true story, I was doing 75 hard, and I was on day 41 or something, and one of the tasks on there is taking a progress picture, and I got my last workout done at like 11 o'clock at night, and I told Hector, I just need to take my picture and I'm done. And I laid on the couch, and then I fell asleep, and then the next day, I uploaded a picture, and it was from the day before, and I didn't realize it. I just uploaded it in the app, and it gave me a completed day, and then I was like going back, and I was like, when did I take the picture? Because I'm pretty sure like I fell asleep, and then I got up, showered, and I was like, oh my God, it was the picture from the day before. And nobody would have known. Nobody would have known. Everybody's like, yeah, girl, day 42, like you're good. But I was sitting there like, dude, if I get to day 75, I am a freaking fraud. Like, I did not do it the way it's supposed to be done. So I just said, you know what, like you failed, girl. Like you didn't take your picture. You should have done it. When you said you were going to do it, you should have it would have took you 2 seconds, but I chose comfort instead of just staying in action. I chose comfort, and here we are. I failed 75 hard on day 42. So, in my opinion, when you own your stuff, that's when you really have growth. That's when you really, like, you're like, okay, I'm turning into a different person. Like, this is not just like dad telling me what to do all the time. This is like, I'm making some changes here. Okay? Any questions on any of this or comments? Nope? Okay. Alright. Now, powerful perspective. So your challenge today. I'm going to read this question and I want you to really, really dig deep. Remember, you're giving up like basically you might as well go in and really like dig deep on what's going on. Are they getting a packet?
I think so.
Okay.
I hear something.
Okay. So the question is, how would you change? What would you do that you're waiting to get done because you think that you will have forever? Again, how would you change and what would you do that you are waiting to get done because you think you'll have forever? And I'm sure we all know we do not have forever, right? So when you guys meditate on this question, I want you to write down 3 things that you would like to accomplish in your life. And before you guys write these things down, I want you to really think, like, don't think, is this a realistic goal? Is this, are they going to ask me to share it? Like, no. Like, think of, like, 3 things that you really want to accomplish in your life. Like, dig deep on what you really want. Nothing that's going to sound pretty, right? Or it's too big. Maybe your goals are small. That's okay, too. But it has to be important enough for you to actually feel something when you write them down. Okay? If you're writing it down and it's just to write them down, you're doing yourself a disservice. So take a minute and write 3 things that you really want to accomplish. Oh, she's still printing. Can we get another?
Yeah, they're all coming out right now.
Okay, they're pretty big, so I think they're just taking a minute. But they'll get you. Alright, does anybody want to share what their goals are? You don't have to, but if there, we have any brave ones out there you want to share? Yes?
I want to be a better mentor to my kids.
Okay,
Improve that field. Find out 1,000%. So,
awesome. That's a good one.
yes.
That's a great one. Anybody else?
Yeah, we, send my kids to, private school.
Nice.
Send them to private school, yeah. And definitely want to waterfront home and Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like how specific that one is.
Yeah.
Okay. Brenda, you wanted?
I want to run a Spartan, not just participate. I actually want to run and complete it.
Awesome.
Be fit enough to really do that.
Okay, cool. These are good ones. Those are good ones. Thank you guys. Thank you for sharing. My goals were to become a mom. Those of you who don't know, I had issue for me. It's not anymore, so right now it's all in God's hands. But at the same time, like, it can mean a lot of things, right? Like, maybe adoption is what we're supposed to do. Maybe, I don't know, like, maybe there's a baby out there that we're supposed to be blessing. I don't know. But I will be a mom. That's, like, one of my goals. The other one was to build our dream home. Those of you who know us, we've been planning on that forever, and there's a lot of limiting beliefs around that. And I want to take my entire family on a vacation. Like, Hector's side, my side, I want to take them all and pay for everything. That's what I would love to do. One of the things that I think that when you actually take time to write these things down, it usually ends up being something that will impact somebody else. It's usually not like something selfish when you really take time to sit and think about what you want to accomplish in life, which is great. That's like a really good thing. And it's also great because it's more accountability on your hands. Because if I don't do what I need to do, my family will not go on that vacation. Right? If I don't do what I need to do, if I am supposed to adopt a baby, that baby's not gonna, like, it's not gonna happen. Right? And then, I don't know if you guys know, but it's expensive to adopt a baby. You would think it's not, but it is. So, usually when you take time to meditate on your goals, they're for other people. They're gonna impact others. Okay? All right. There's a quote that I really like on page 12 of your guys' packet, and it says, imagine for a moment that your own version of a perfect future, imagine for a moment your own version of a perfect future. Now take the memory of that future and bring it here to the present. Let it influence you. Let it influence how you will behave from this moment on. Right, so Arlene, you want to be a better mentor? Like, how is that, like, how do you have to be now, right, in order to, well, because the question was, because we think we have forever. We have forever to make it happen. Honestly, we don't. We don't. So I really like that quote. So let's do a reality check. What is your goal? Right, so we're going to pick one of those goals that you guys wrote down. Pick the one that's like, the one that means more to you, stands out more to you. Whatever one, all important, but just pick one. Okay? You guys can circle it or whatever you want to do. And then there's on page 13, there's 4 little circles on there, and they have questions. So you're going to write your goal down on the first one. What is your goal? So write that in that first circle. In the second circle, you're going to write down, how are you doing with that goal? Whether I'm like right there, I'm almost going to reach it, or holy crap, I still got a long way to go, like I don't even know if this is possible, like how are you doing with that goal? And then number 3, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about where you're at with your goal? Are you overwhelmed? Are you stressed? And then on the fourth one, what will your future look like if you do not achieve your goal? So for me, if I don't do what I need to do to be able to afford to take my family on vacation, the reality is that my family will probably never leave California. I'm being totally honest. Like, I did not come from a wealthy family or big thinkers. I didn't. I actually grew up, I'm the youngest out of 4. I have 3 older brothers. My 2 oldest ones were gangster cholos, from LA, in and out of jail, all of that. My oldest brother passed. Like, whatever comes is what comes. And I'm not. I am not. So you can imagine what kind of limiting beliefs I had to try to get to just out of there. Okay? So I didn't grow up thinking that any of this was a possibility. So does anybody want to share what they wrote in these? Arlen?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so what's my goal? I picked to be a better mentor to my kids. How you doing with your goals? I basically rated from 1 to 10. I put myself a 5. Said, how do you feel about that? Like I'm being a failure to them. Plain and simple. Number 4 is probably a future drug life. It would just throw a couple of words that came to mind. It would feel amazing, peaceful, and I feel like as if my life has been set on cruise control.
Awesome. It's funny how doing something for others will make you feel at peace.
Yes.
Right? Like, I want to take my family on vacation and that will make me feel better, but it's for them, right? Giving them a better experience. Okay? Thank you, Arlen.
You're welcome.
All right, so do we have any ahas? Kelly Williams with their ahas. So aha, that's oh, I never even thought about that, or oh wow, I didn't realize, anybody have anything that popped in their mind as we were talking about this?
When you said we don't have forever, it's true because we're always 10 years from now, too, and then it's just do it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier and faster.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't have forever.
I like to reemphasize on that too, because for those of us who went to family reunion, you don't think you're gonna die, right? You think that you're not gonna die, and so therefore we said, "Oh, we'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow." My wife is here, and so sometimes we just tend to just put things off, off to the side. We'll get to it tomorrow, kind of like a picture. Mm-hmm. Well, what's the guarantee that I'm gonna make it, by tomorrow? So when you said that, it just really took me back, because recently I read a book that really just got me thinking, wow, I don't have forever. And so I think that once you hit that point, you really start being more purposeful, from what you said. Yes, you want a business, but, what are the lives that you're impacting, along the way? Mm-hmm. So this is more than just, buying and selling homes. It goes way beyond that. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, go ahead.
Sorry, my aha was
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you have to create the discipline now. Later, they benefit me. Not only me, but everyone else around me.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think we have this idea of time, like Emma said. He said, we all tend to think that everyone's going to die but us. Mm-hmm. That's what we tend to think. And that's not the case. You never know. You never know. So if you live your life thinking that way, that you have forever, you won't accomplish anything. Hector tells me all the time. I forget how he says it. He says it all the time. So basically, if I give myself 3 hours to do something, I will take 3 hours to do that. If I gave myself an hour to do it, I will finish it in 1 hour. So he tells me that, well, how long do you think you need for that? I'm like, I don't know, just like, let me just do what I gotta do. No, but I need to know. And then it takes me an hour, and then I'm watching the clock, I'm doing whatever I gotta do, and watching the clock, and I get it done. But if I give myself all day, like folding laundry, I'll do it by the end of the week, and then the end of the week comes, you're like, oh, then I'm gonna do it. I'll do it later. And I don't even have kids. I don't know how people with kids do it, but
I give them time.
Every day.
I taught them an hour to clean the house, like 1 hour to clean the house, and if everyone does their one thing, or whatever it is they have to do, I'll set a timer and be like, you have 1 hour to clean the house will be clean in an hour.
yeah. I gotta do that with laundry because we're gonna have kids, and we're laundry there. I don't know this. I don't know. One day we'll master that. All right. Okay,
How
so
long do you think you need to master it?
me? I'm teaching the class already.
Okay, I'm texting you.
Yes.
That's actually a perfect segue. Our first perspective is commit to self-mastery. I know me. I don't like to do laundry. I don't like to fold. I don't like to put it away. I don't like it. And I have a husband who showers twice a day. If he could shower 3 times, he will. Like, I don't know what the deal is with that. It's good, but like laundry-wise, it's not good. But so commit to self-mastery. All right, self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. So we know us, right? But we still need to master us. We still need to see what makes us tick. What are our weaknesses? What are our strengths? What are we good at? What do we like to do? What do we not like to do? So it says on your page, I don't know what page this is, it doesn't say it, but step 1, commit to self-mastery. When you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and you know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. So, knowing yourself is how you're going to achieve your goals. Like, honestly, I know I'm not a dialer like my husband. I'll do it. I don't mind doing it because I'm a hard worker, right? I'll jump on phones, doorknob, that's cool. Am I like one of those people who can just throw it on and have a smile on my face the whole time? Absolutely not. That's not my favorite thing to do. But I know that in order to reach our goals as a team, I need to make sure that Hector's on the phone all the time. So I need to make sure that the rest of the team is doing what they need to do so that Hector does nothing but get on those phones. So it still takes me knowing myself, because if I say, oh, me and Hector are going to dial, and we're just going to get on these deals, Brenda can tell you, I'm like, squirrel, like all over the place, right? So I know myself. So there's certain things that I do to make sure that we're still moving forward in some way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not just sitting there, lollygag, but I'm just not the dialer person, okay? All right, so when you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals, you know your strengths, and you use them both. You use your strengths and weaknesses to reach your goals. Now, what is mastery? Mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make one the master of a subject. Okay, so when I took this class a long time ago, and I loved it because I was sitting in your seat thinking like, dang, I'm like so far from my goals, like I'm not even doing anything towards them, right? And then as I grew in real estate, we started hitting certain goals and all of that, and then I took it again, and then I was like, oh man, like why did I stop there? I could have kept going. And so every time I take this class, I realize that there's always a little more, right? And this class, I took it at a family reunion. I took like a portion of it, and then I text Sophia. I said, Sophia, I want to master the 6 personal perspectives. And you know, Sophia, she's like, oh, I got you, you're gonna take this class, you're gonna read this book, you're gonna do all this stuff. And I was like, oh shoot, like what did I just do? But I was being accountable because I knew Sophia wasn't gonna let me slip from what I told her, right? So I knew my weakness was gonna be putting it off. And I knew that if I didn't tell somebody what I wanted to do, it probably wasn't gonna happen. It was just gonna be an ideal, and it'd be nice to when they teach 6 personal perspectives. So I told Sophia, and here I am, freaking out because I'm teaching this class. But I wanted to master this because my vision for our team is like, one of my goals was to be a mom. I don't want to go on appointments. I don't want to have to do all this. I don't want to show houses. Like I don't want to do that. Like I want to set our team up to where if I don't want to be there, I don't need to. But I love teaching, coaching, and training, so I probably will still be in there teaching and coaching and training, but then I'll bounce out whenever I want to. That is the vision of my perfect life. So I said, if I want to do that, I need to master this so that I can have people on my team and I can coach them on their mindset and bring value to them in these other ways. And I need to be a better leader. And in order to be a better leader, I need to master myself and know what I'm not good at. And all that stuff. So I figured this class is the one that's going to get me to where people are going to want to be on my team. Mm-hmm. People are going to come knocking and say, hey, what do I got to do to be part of this? So that's why I'm teaching this class. Sorry guys, it's not for you. It's really for me. Just kidding. But I wanted to get really good at this. Really good at this because I want to be able to have conversations with the people who are on my team, and I want to be able to meet them where they're at and take them to the next level and help them master themselves and do all that stuff. That's my focus. That is my focus 100%. And what comes is business comes because I'm mastering myself, right? So like business just comes because I know how to talk to people now because of this class. So mastery is getting really good at something, right? Getting really good at something. I was actually telling Brenda a story. I when I was prepping for this class, I was like, Brenda, I don't have a story. Like, what am I gonna say? Oh my gosh, it wasn't that bad, you know? But I realized that I actually grew up I was the youngest, I was the only girl. I had 3 older brothers, all tough guys. So I wasn't really allowed to be like a girl. Like I didn't have Barbies and stuff. I was taught how to fight and like I learned about Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre like real little, you know? So that was me. But I also was not the smartest one. Like my brother, who's a year older, he was a smart guy. He was the one who could just sleep through a class and pass the test. I'm the flashcards, read out loud, lock yourself in your room, study, and hopefully you get a C, right? Like that was me. So I wasn't that person, but I always tried really hard because my thing was I needed to impress my dad. I wanted my dad to one day say, good job, you know, or I'm so proud of you. So that was my thing. And as I went through life, I was always scared to take like manager positions and stuff like that. So I didn't know if I could teach anyone. I didn't see that in me. And one day I got a job at Macy's and they had just opened the MAC counter, like the MAC makeup, and the MAC president or whatever came and they were walking through, and I just remember everyone like everyone was cleaning, everybody was like, put everything, because like that person was walking through and they were going to come check the MAC counter and make sure it was like done right. And I remember thinking, I was 16 and I was like, one day, that's where I want to be. Whoever that is, that's going to be me. That's going to be me, 100%. And I never forget that day. I always was like, one day I'm going to have a business, I'm just going to walk through and people are going to know they better be working when I'm walking through. I'm just saying. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly but surely. I'm getting there. Like, I'm not a tyrant, right? But like, I do have employees that have to be doing what they gotta do. They have to show results. Sorry, this is a business, right? So I'm getting there slowly but surely. And when I started in loans, I was scared because I'm not that good at numbers. I know how to use a calculator very well, but like, can I do math in my head? No, it's not me, it's not me. But when I started in loans, I started with Wells Fargo, that was easy, then moved on to a different company. And when I moved on to the other company, the mentor that took me under his wing, he's like, I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know, and we're gonna be partners 50-50, and it's gonna be great. And as I was there, I was super excited. I was like, this is awesome. Like, what are the odds of somebody just taking me under their wing just like that? I didn't even know me. And I did learn a lot. But what I would do is I would record them, or I would say it again. And then I would go home and I'd be like, Dad, sit down. I'm going to present this to you and tell me if it makes sense. And I would explain how a mortgage works. I would say, this is your principal and this is your interest. Some of you guys have seen my little TITIA shenanigans that comes from that. And then he'd be like, oh, it doesn't make sense. And then I do it again, and I go to my brother, and I go to Hector, and I present it over and over and over until I couldn't get it wrong. And because I knew my weakness, which was I'm not good at numbers, I was like, if I just master this, I'm going to sound so badass, no one's going to even know. No one's going to ask me anything. And to this day, I haven't had a buyer ask me anything about numbers because I mastered it. And I knew that my weakness was, if they ask me something about numbers, I'm done. They're going to know I'm new. So I took the time to learn that. So wherever you guys are in life, in real estate, if you guys know that you're not that good on the phones, or you're not that good at scripts, or whatever it is, that's what you need to dive into and learn. Like, don't stray away from it. Like, jump into it with both feet. Like, I want to learn everything. So I did that. And that was great. I learned from this guy, but at the same time, I was always his shadow. Or like they would take me to like get like realtors to work with us and like tell me to look pretty. You know, like, oh, look pretty. Like, we're gonna meet with this agent and we're gonna get him to work with us. And that's where my limiting beliefs started up again. So I had got through them, I saw that CEO lady, and I was like, I'm going to be like her. And then I came over here and then realized, like, oh, maybe that's not for me. I don't know, maybe I'm not that smart. I don't know, like that's where all that started. And that's why this class is so important to me, because until I came here, that all went away. Okay? All right. So there's some books in this packet. I recommend that you guys highlight them, buy them, get them on Audible, whatever you gotta do. These books are really good. If Gary Keller reads them, we read them. And I'll read something to you guys. I know some of you guys are highlighting. It says it's a journey, not an event. And I'm just gonna read the end of it. It says a commitment to true mastery will not be achieved by taking a class on the subject or even reading a few books about it, but rather by repetitive practice, in other words, time on task. Anyone can master anything. All you have to do is want to. Okay, anyone can master anything. And then I always say this to my team and to everybody I talk to. Awareness brings choice. If you know you're not good at something, you can stay not good at something, or you can choose to be better at it. It's that simple. We just overcomplicate life all the time, right? So what are we doing to get better? What are we doing for self-mastery? What are we watching? What are we listening to? Are we listening to podcasts? Are we reading books? Are we watching Netflix and scrolling through social media all the time? Like, what are we doing? I have a rule. I don't listen to anything that's not about Jesus or self-development until I get to the office. When I get to the office, I need music that's going to like pump me up and stuff, but before that, nothing else. Nothing else, or worship music, something. Because it's too early to be like, twerking in the morning. Like I need to wait, give it some time, start clean. So, all right. Let's see. What page is it? Okay, so there's a couple quotes on here. If you work hard enough, assert yourself, and use your mind and imagination, you can shape the world to your desires. And then it says achievement is talent plus preparation. Okay? Alright, so there's a page on here, page 19. And it talks about putting the pieces together for self-mastery. So basically, if the goal is to master prospecting, and we'll just go with this example because this is real estate. We all have to master prospecting. Whatever the prospecting method that you want, you should master prospecting because that's literally our job. This person is good with people, business. Bringing up business, right? And then the plan is, or this person's plan, once you're aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, then we put everything together. This person's plan is to practice scripts, take bold, it's a class that Keller Williams offers, which is pretty awesome, and call your sphere of influence, which makes sense, right? Practice your scripts, so you know what to say when you want to bring up business. Take bold because it's going to force you into action. If you guys haven't taken bold, that class is amazing. You should take it when it's out. And the last one is call your sphere of influence. Start with people you know. Right? So they simplified it. And that's this person's plan to mastering their goal. And then we're going to watch a quick video. John Sidley is a divisional leader, and he's just going to tell you kind of his experience with this. Oh, shoot. Let's see. Here. He compares basketball players, and if they want to get good at a free throw, how many shots do they have to take until they can actually say oh, I never miss them, right? And his example for business was hiring an admin. He would always just wing it. You'd always just like get someone and hope that it worked. And in order for him to, I guess one day he just asked himself, like, well, why do my admin keep leaving? Why does it not work? Well, maybe I need to get better at hiring and picking the right person. Okay, so he identified his weakness. I'm not picking the right people. I don't know how. Let me take career visioning. And now that I took career visioning, I know how to hire property. I know what to look for. And that was him committing to self-mastery. Self-mastery is getting to know you, but also like, what is it that you need to get better at? Like, what is your strength? What is your weakness? His weakness was, I don't know how to hire. I don't know how to hire the right people. All right, so on page 21, we're gonna do this activity. And you're gonna list 3 obstacles that can hinder your achievement. So that goal that you guys, that main goal that you guys focused on, you're gonna write 3 things, 3 obstacles that can hinder your achievement of that goal. So 3 things that can basically stop you. Like what can get in your way of you hitting that goal. And then just get with a partner and discuss that after you write it down. Write them down first and then get with them. So it could be like people, finances, limiting beliefs. It could be yourself. It could be maybe your family doesn't support you. What are the obstacles that can get in your way of achieving that goal? And lunch will be coming at 1:30, by the way. FYI. So for me, my one of my obstacles was obviously money, right? Everything on my thing needs money. The second one was my own limiting beliefs. And my third one was partner buy-in. So like me and Hector, we do everything together. We decide everything together. So I need to make sure that he's in it with me, or else like taking people on vacation, becoming a mom, building a house, like that's all both of us. So I need to make sure we're both on the same page. And if we're not, that's going to be an obstacle to reach my goal. So once you guys have them written down, just pick a partner and then just kind of share them with each other, what your limiting beliefs are. Saying them out loud, it makes them more real.
Thank God. Consistency. Consistency. Yeah. That's me. I'm not just plus I have some but this only comes to honesty and like I did like I see the person you long way to be like that.
My goal was to
I would say there's one action sometimes I get overwhelmed how about you hiring it? So for me, it's definitely it's large enough to buy a car. That's what I mean.
Okay.
That's not a goal. The thing about it is, Melissa,
Very nice.
how I can get there, if I can achieve
Yeah, I'll put you on that.
is to so the second obstacle is not even where how to start.
They're still amazing.
So this is like, for me, like a goal, it's to
So build generation.
Yeah.
But so that's why.
Oh, okay.
Not, it could be like real estate related or not, but like that's, like, the idea is still not like kind of.
Alright guys, back to your seats, you have a lot more to cover. I'm glad that you guys are having these conversations though, makes me feel good, but we gotta keep going. And then now you're gonna have more time. In a couple minutes, guys, we're ready? Alright.
You gotta start it.
I know, but
We were going.
self-discipline,
We
right?
were going.
Alright, so, I heard a lot of like, oh, I'll do anything to not do my 20%. I heard a lot of limiting beliefs. I heard a lot of that going around. Limiting beliefs is one of the biggest ones I think that a lot of people write on that. So if you go to page 23, there's a few more questions on there. The first one is share with your partner what strengths you feel that will help you overcome the obstacles. So those obstacles that you guys just talked about, you're gonna now talk about what are the strengths that you have to overcome them, okay? What weaknesses might hinder you from overcoming those obstacles? How can you conquer these weaknesses? And then you and your partner will work together to brainstorm on ideas, right? So like, if one of your things was limiting beliefs, then maybe you start, maybe you have to write down your plan first, and then you need to get specific with it, and then you need to listen to motivational stuff, or maybe you need to pray, or whatever it is for you that's going to help you get past those. But you guys are going to brainstorm and kind of help each other on how can I overcome these obstacles that I just wrote down. Because to be honest with you, whatever you wrote down can be overcome. We just like to put it there because it makes us feel better about not accomplishing whatever we want to do, right? So, like I told you guys, I put partner buy-in. Edgar knows what I want. He knows what I want. He doesn't know how bad I want it. That's the difference. Because I know that if I came to him with a plan of how I wanted to do things, and hey, this is how much it's going to cost, like, are you on board with doing this? He would be on board. But I just kind of throw ideas out there, and let they stick. Maybe we'll do them, right? So whatever you wrote down can be overcame. And then the fourth one, it says, are those obstacles movable? Are those obstacles something we can remove? And utilizing your strengths and being aware of your weaknesses, what is your plan to overcome those obstacles? My plan is to write down my goals, see how much it's all going to cost, see how long that would take us, how much of each commission would need to go to it, whatever my plan is, and then go to Hector and say, hey, babe, these are the things that I really want to do. I really want to do these things. Are we on board with this? Right? These are the things that could get in the way but these are the solutions I have for it. I'm really good at this, you're really good at that, right? Like you have this whole game plan for it. And then one thing that I wrote down from when I took that class before I let you guys talk again, if you guys wrote down limiting beliefs on one of the obstacles, which that was one of mine, is like, let's say you wrote, what if I'm not good enough? Let's say that's one of your limiting beliefs. What if I'm not good enough? This coach said, what if you change that and say, how would I show up if I was good enough? And show up like that. Right? I'm not strong enough. What would I do if I was strong enough? And do that. Right? I'm not smart enough. What if I was smart enough? How would I show up if I was? And do that. Because it's just a thought that you have in your head. And another thing she said that was pretty cool was the first thought is going to come. Oh, that's scary. Oh, what if I can't? Oh, what if I can't afford it? What if I fail? What if I mess this whole class up? What if, all these things. That thought's going to come. The important thought is the second one. The second one can be, yeah, you shouldn't do it because what if you fail? Yeah, you know what? Maybe you should tell Jade you're not ready to teach that class yet. Or it could be like, no, but I've taught other classes a bunch of times. All I gotta do is prepare. I'll be fine. That's my second thought. And I have control over that thought. So the first thought's gonna come. A limiting belief's gonna come. You're gonna have it, no matter what. Am I gonna be a good mom? Maybe I should leave that alone. No, but I am, because I have a good mom. I know what a good mom is. I could do that, right? Like all those. The second thought is the one that you have control over. The first thought's gonna come. You have a choice whether you want to stick to that first thought or combat it with the second thought. Okay? So I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna time you, little talkers. I'm gonna give you 4 minutes. I'm gonna give you 4 minutes. To do these questions right here on page 23. Ready, go!
So first one says, what strengths do you feel you have to help overcome the obstacles? For me, I put down having willpower and
I'm a realtor. I think that means too. I have visibility, for more reasons than people that were stuck. I think like the analysis paralysis. So it's like if you got 10 things to knock down, which one do you start with? Push it over, quickness and fast. I think that would be one of my how to start. So for me, how to start. the density.
I think, for getting rid of the roadblocks.
I want to take a ball and tell you. So
Workshop all day.
you still got yours like two.
So number 2, I would say is strength.
I think putting down music for
So
In 1 more minute, start wrapping it up.
And then I would say also listening to like support application. The strength
maybe like I mean,
if you want to help,
I really
being driven by something good. Yeah, and then the weaknesses.
Tired of the baby, tired of.
I would say take the action.
Listen to a lot of action.
For someone who's too positive, take action.
I don't need to feel that.
Alright guys, let's wrap it up. Everyone back to your seats. Alright, so, pretty crazy when you start actually sitting down and thinking about this stuff, right? Like, my word, if I could put this whole class why would I think that? Like, how often do we do that? We never do that. So it's pretty cool. And thank you guys all, because I hear everyone having conversations, which is awesome. But yeah, clarity. What kind of ahas do we have on this section of self-mastery?
Just that. Ooh, I figured it out.
Figured it out.
What?
Any other ones?
I think we overcomplicate our stuff, our ideas, and they're really simple. But
Absolutely.
Thing on it.
Yeah, absolutely. We overcomplicate everything. And you know, we overcomplicate things because if we make it harder, then it's easier for us to be like, oh, I'm not gonna do it, it's too much.
Yeah.
That's why we do it. If we made everything simple, then we'd have to do it because it's simple, right? So it's our own. It's us. Yeah.
Navigation tools. Now I seem to have put together kind of like a roadmap
Yes.
to how I can get there.
Yes. Because it's easy for us to say, I want these things. The hard part is sitting down and talking about how are we going to get them? How bad do I want them? What do I need to do to become the person who has these things? I always like to watch, even if I'm not a fan of certain artists or whatever, but like I love to watch their disciplines. Like I recently watched Netflix. It was like J-Lo preparing for like the Super Bowl or something like that. I'm not a huge fan, whatever, but she has so much discipline and she's such a perfectionist and her dancers are on point and she does not mess around, and I just love watching that. And I always tell Hector, man, I need to be like that. I need to be more disciplined. I need to like do that because like maybe it's not for that, but for other things. Like I just love watching people who do that. Yeah,
I saw this camp. I was like, holy shit. Like,
I recently watched the McGregor one too on Netflix, and like he's so dedicated and all that. And then I think, well, okay, well, all I have to do, if that's the type of person I want to be, like that's what I have to do, right? I gotta wake up, I gotta work out, I gotta meditate, I gotta eat right, I gotta schedule my days. I have to expect perfection. I have to expect all these things, right? Maybe not expect perfection, but effort, right, from my team and all those things. So it's crazy. It's crazy because it's that simple. It's just the steps to get there that we want to avoid. We want to get there like that, right? All right, good job, guys. Next section. We are going to the 80-20 principle. 80-20 principle is super important. This is all about doing the one thing that you are here to do. It's really focusing on the 20% that's going to get you the 80% of your results, right? So the truth There is a pattern of predictable imbalance in life. It's called the 80-20 principle. Have you guys heard about the 80-20 principle? We've mentioned it a little bit throughout this class, but it basically applies to everything. 20% of the agents in this office do 80% of the sales, right? Which percent do you want to be? Question. Okay. More results, fewer activities. It's like I said at the beginning, when we start real estate, we're so excited. We want the logo, we want the t-shirt, we want the website, we want the business card, we want all of that. But as soon as someone hands you the phone and says, this is how you're going to make money, you're too busy. You're too busy, you're not ready, you're scared. What if this? All your limiting beliefs come in. As soon as they give you that 20% that you have to do. Follow-up calls, phone calls, door knocking, open houses, whatever it is, script practice, right? As soon as we get told that that's what it's going to take to make all this money, all of a sudden, we're too busy doing our 80%. That's not producing results, right? Go back to my diet example. I want to get, it's because I don't have workout outfits, it's because I'm not at the right gym, it's because I don't have a trainer, it's because I don't have meal prep service, it's because of all of these things. But if I just move more and eat less, I will probably lose some weight, right? That's the 20%, let's be real. That's what it is. So you can use this principle in literally anything in your life that you feel that you're not moving forward in. Just think about what you're really focusing on. Because we know what it's going to take to be successful. We all do. Right? So there's a quote in here from the real estate investor, millionaire real estate investor. By the way, all the books that are in here, I think I already said that, but if there's a book in here, I definitely recommend reading it. Yes, you're going to learn about investing, but Gary Keller uses a lot of these principles in all these books. So it's going to help you with mindset. Investing in real estate is scary. A lot of investing in real estate is going to be your mindset. Are you ready for it? Are you too scared for it? Right? It's all in there. So it's all connected. Let's see. So let's go to, who knows what the 5 jobs of a real estate agent are? Y'all lucky Jay's not here. She'd be so sad. What are the 5 jobs?
That.
Okay.
Prospecting.
Educate.
Lead gen.
Okay. Prospect, lead gen, same.
Appointment.
Finance and negotiation.
Leverage.
Okay. Okay. Lead generation. Write these down. Write these down, and when Jay comes, tell her, Aurora taught us something new. Number 1, lead generation. Number 2, lead follow-up. Don't do all that lead gen and not follow up with these people, because then I'm going to call them, and they're going to say, yeah, somebody called me, and they never called me back. Thank God you called me. Number 3, appointments. Going on appointments. If you are not going on an appointment, you need to be looking for an appointment. Number 4, negotiating contracts. And number 5 is scripts and practice or role play. Scripts are super important, you guys. I was so anti-scripts. I really was. I am, Brenda laughs when I do my dials because I'm like, hey girl, what's up? Like, how have you been? You know, and or like it'll be a cold call and they'll be like, I had a call the other day and she was like, yeah, you know, like these stairs, you know, I'm getting older. I want to get a 1-story. And I was like, girl, I know. Oh my gosh, stairs. Like you forget your keys and then you gotta go all the way back up. Like that's my style of like dialing. But at the end of the day, I always get back to the script. I'll throw all my little sauce in there and I'll be like, let's do this. How about we set an appointment so that we can talk about why so many people love to work with us. You know, like, and that's part of one of the Gutierrez team scripts that we use. And I would jump right back in. So, but there was a time where I had to just read it over and over and over and sound like a robot. Now, it's so internalized, I don't even think about it. And I can throw all my sauce in there and turn it into my own. You hear Hector making calls, and he's very transactional, very professional. He's a shark. He wants, yeah, you know. Me, I want to love him. I want to hug him, I want to hang out, go have a drink first. You know, like that's my style. But you'll find yours. But first, you have to learn the scripts. You have to know why you're calling. And once you learn your scripts, you're not worried about what you're going to say. You're actually listening to people. I was telling this, we just hired an ISA, and all he does is cold call for our team. And he used to call, he's that guy who calls you and says, did you know your car warranty was blah, 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 like expiring, you know, those guys? That was him. So he has no fear on the phones, but I told him, hey, we're not selling warranties. We're changing lives. Like people die, get married, have a baby, move out of state. Like they're changing their entire life. We are here to provide a service. We are here to help them with a problem. So we cannot sound like we're just trying to get them to sign something to update their warranty. Like we're here changing lives. And if you make your calls like that, and it becomes something that you believe in from your I thank God you answered the phone today because I have some really good information for you. I'm already a homeowner. Well, did you know that you can invest? Did you know that we have so many things that we can tell them, but we have to come from a place of service in order for it to be genuine. So now I'm going on a rant, but practice your scripts. Practice your scripts. I promise you will not sound like a robot once you internalize them. All right, I'm going to read this excerpt at the bottom of page 28. It says, Gene Grant, mega agent in Austin, Texas, remembers one of his first breakthroughs in mastering this principle. Before I took Bold, I used to spend a lot of time every day putting out fires. I felt productive because I was very busy, and subconsciously, it made me feel like a hero when I saved the day. Then, in my very first Bold, we spent time going through our calendars, identifying our dollar productive activities. I was shocked to see how much money I was losing by spending my valuable time on tasks that were nowhere near my 20%. Now I focus my time on my one thing, lead generation, and I feel like a hero when I see how well I am providing for my family. I'm not gonna lie, when I was prepping for this class, anything would distract me. Ask Brenda. She'd be like, Aurora, go prepare for your class. I'm like, but Hector needs his lunch warmed up. And here I come, hey, here's your lunch. You know, like anything I could do but prep for this class because I was so nervous about it. Which you would think would make me want to prep more, but no, I was really just avoiding it, just pretending when it's going to go away. If I had to teach it, Jay's going to reschedule, we're going to be good. But I couldn't focus on it. But focusing on your 20% is gonna bring you the results. If I wouldn't have listened to Brenda and focused on my 20% and prepped for this class, you guys would have already walked out. Let's be real. Maybe because you're like me, you would have hung out, but most of you would have walked out. But okay, if you go to page 29, I'm sure you guys have seen this illustration on like Facebook and stuff where there's like this teacher and he talks about, did I skip a? Okay. There it is. That's the one I wanted. So there's this teacher where he has like a jar in the class and he fills it with rocks, big rocks. And he asks the class, is it full? And they say, yes it is. Then he gets pebbles and he throws pebbles in there and the pebbles fall through like in between the rocks and stuff. And then he asks, is it full? And they say, yes. Then he grabs sand. He dumps sand in the jar, and the sand goes through all the rocks and everything. He asks again, is it full? And now the class is starting to be like, oh, what else is he going to come up with? Then he gets water. He puts water in there, And he says, now the jar is full. So the big rocks are your 20%. The big rocks are your 20%. If you were to fill this jar with sand, pebbles, and water, how many rocks would fit in there? None. And the 20% is your rocks. We already discussed that 20% was prospecting, appointments, right? All that. So if your rocks aren't fitting in here, you're not getting anything done. I have a membership for LA Fitness. I haven't been there forever. I have a ton of workout gear. I have a ton of running shoes. I just need to show up. I just need to go and eat better. But I'm doing all this because this is not fun. I don't want to do this. This is boring. I don't want to get on the phone. Right? Now, one of those jobs that we have, like going on appointments or practice, is not going to fit. If you don't do this, your business will fail. And none of us are here to have a business that's failed. None of us are here for that. And by the way, success for everyone's different. Some people are here, cool, that's fine. But you can still do the wrong things and not even get that. Okay? Don't confuse income servicing activities with income generating activities. We're here to generate money. That's what we're here to do. If people ask you why you join real estate, you say because you want to help people. Yeah, but you want to get paid for that, or else you would go do like charity. That's really what all you wanted to do. We are here to help people, absolutely. But we're also here to make money and change our lives and our families' lives, break generational, bring generational wealth, all that kind of stuff. Okay? Never do the 80% at the expense of your 20%. If you come into the office and you give yourself 4 hours to be here and you focus 2.5 or even 3 of them working on social media, website, and designing your logo, and then you give yourself 30 minutes to an hour to cold call or call your sphere or door knock or whatever your choice is, like which one's actually going to bring you money and which one's just servicing what you already have, right? All right. So when we're focused on the 20% that matters, we get 80% of the results that we want. 20% effort is the big bucks, 80% results, you make money, take time with family, and you get more organized. This section is actually one of the hardest ones for me, and we're going to get to it right now. Because I tend to not stick to my schedule, guys. All right. Before we read that, on page 31, there's a part that says, much to do about nothing. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to talk about a to-do list compared to a success list. How many people like to do lists and check them off? I love it. Love it. I love crossing it off and makes me feel good. It makes me feel real good when like I'm leaving and all everything's done or checked off. But the reality is, and this is a little piece I'm going to read, it says the first thing on your list is the first thing that you thought of. It's not the most important thing. It's the first thing that you thought of. What do I need to do today? I need to call Bob, I need to call this person, I need to do this, I need to do whatever. My website, make a post, whatever it is. So what you put on your to-do list is only the first thing that you thought of. A list that is purposely created around extraordinary results is what you're looking for. Okay? So we make a success list here. How many people have ever been overwhelmed by everything that's on your list? Okay? Whenever you feel overwhelmed, that means you have lack of clarity in your priorities. If you ever feel overwhelmed, the feeling overwhelmed is lack of clarity of your priorities. What am I supposed to be doing right now that I'm not doing? Whenever you feel anxiety, it's also because you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to do, so you start feeling like weight on your shoulders, until you start like freaking out because you're not getting anything done. Right? So the 80-20 principle is super important. This is in life and everything. For example, folding laundry and putting it away is not part of my 20%. I'm sorry. That's why it sits there. It's not just because I'm lazy and I don't like to do it. But like, Hector's a grown man. He can grab a shirt if he needs it. He'll be fine. Maybe when I have kids, maybe it'll be a little bit different. But right now, it's not. That is not part of my 20%. It's not. Right? Lucky me that it's not. But there are other things that I would rather be doing than folding laundry. Alright. So, then go even smaller by finding the vital few of the vital few. Vital few of the vital few. Of the vital few. Sorry. Let me read that again. Then identify your 20%, then go even smaller by finding the vital few of the vital few. So 20%, let's go with cold calling because that's what we do. We're cold calling, right? That's what you need to do, that's your 20%. That's an even better day. I like to just walk with appointments and how many I book that day. So like sometimes it'll look like I'm not talking to a lot of people or I'm like texting a lot. It's because I know those are the people who are hot right now, who've been reaching out to me, they've been sending me home, they've been asking me questions. Those are the ones I'm really trying to get that appointment with because I don't want to sit there and make 100 calls. I need to make 5 and get 2 appointments. Does that make sense? Alright, so go to page 33 in your packet and you're going to write that goal, that big goal that you guys focused on. You're going to write it down. On the top line. Okay, after you write it down on that line, it's the same goal that we've been going through this whole time. On the to-do list, you're going to write down everything that you need to do to get to that goal. Right? So I put build our dream home, we need to save money, we need to apply for the permits, we need to pray, we need to finalize the plans, I need a time frame, I need a contractor, like write down everything that you need to do to reach that goal. Okay, so now that you guys wrote those things down, what I want you to do is circle the four most important ones that you need to do. The ones that are going to have the most impact. The ones that if you don't do, you'll fail.
How many?
4 or however many, just obviously it's not going to be all of them, but 3 or 4. The ones that the most impact, the ones that if you don't do, you will fail. Okay, now out of those 4 or 3 that you circled, I want you to pick one that's going to impact the most and write that one at the bottom. What's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? That's from the one thing. If you guys have not read the book, The One Thing, you have to read that book. That will change your life personally, professionally. Brenda, it was one of her, she couldn't work with us unless she read that book.
What's it called?
The One Thing. It was part of her like probation period. She had to read that book. Brenda, sorry, I'm gonna put you on blast, but she would pride herself on being a multitasker. And so when she started with us, because everyone knows multitasking is a lie, correct?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that? Because you can't do 2 things at once. There's no way. You just cannot. Or else you're doing half one thing, half the other. You're not doing 100% on both because nothing has 100% of your attention. Correct? So she was like, I'm a multitasker. I do a lot of things all at the same time. And what happened was she was working with us and she was forgetting things. Left and right, because she was doing a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and she was coming from a different world, right? Lending compared to real estate, totally different. So, or not totally different, but different for sure. So I would tell her, Brenda, what's the one thing that you need to do right now? Why do you need to do this? And then she would do that, and then you could see her body language change because she was accomplishing things instead of having a bunch of little things going on. Right? So she read that book and she's like, oh my God, I've been doing it all wrong this whole time. And it truly like changed the way she works, and she's less stressed. She's doing more and less stressed out than when she first started, because she had less tasks because she was learning, right? But now she has more tasks, less stress, because she's doing her one thing. Whenever she's on one thing, that's what she's focusing on. She still strays a little bit, but we'll really back in. Okay. You guys all wrote your one thing. Does anybody want to share what their one thing was? Arlen?
Well, actually was to start.
Start.
You know, this year I've taken it more into mentoring them, but bottom line is to just start, get it going.
That's an important one. Start, for sure. Anybody else? Yes.
And I put keep in touch. So
Okay.
like the other day, my friend just called me and said, oh, I hadn't talked to her in forever. And she says, yeah, I'm moving into my dream home. And I didn't even think about her to keep talking, checking in to see. I was like, I could have been the one to sell her that home, but now she wants to go hang out and show the
Let's follow it.
new home, right?
Yeah. Those calls are the best. I think I just got my keys. Like, what? What are you talking about? I just talked to you yesterday. Yes. So, yeah, identify your one thing and do that. Everything that you have to do, whatever it is. Like me, if losing weight is that my main goal, it should be. But that's it is. That's my main thing. Starting is a big deal. It really is. Like saying, okay,
Taking that first step.
Yeah, and we're gonna go into something that gave me like major anxiety when I was prepping for this class. Before I go into that, I'm gonna read this. It says, this is directly from the One Thing. Achievers operate differently. They have an eye for the essential. They pause just long enough to decide what matters and then allow what matters to drive their day. Achievers do sooner what others plan to do later and defer, perhaps indefinitely, what others do sooner. Achievers always work from a clear sense of priority. I really admire my husband for his discipline in getting his calls done. Like, that man does not mess around when it comes to hitting his contacts and finishing his follow-ups. If he doesn't get them done here, when we go home and I'm getting dinner ready, he's getting them done. Like, he does not play with that. Why? Because we've gotten to 10 in escrow, 10 already closed, capped in 2 months because he made those calls. Like he knows what's gonna come from doing that. So he does it no matter what. If he doesn't get his calls done, he is upset. He's like not a fun guy to be around. I'm like, go do some calls, dude. Like, like get away. Go get your calls and then come back and we'll talk, right? Like that, he is so disciplined in it. So disciplined in it. There's a reason why people come in here and want to dial around him. There's a reason for it. Because he built that discipline. He says he loves dialing, but he didn't at first. When we were at the other office, Hector, he's not here. Hector used to show up at 11 o'clock. He used to roll in, but he'd open his mojo, and then he would work on the website. Or he would mess around in the MLS, because he got to learn the MLS. And he would, maybe I should take a new headshot, you know? Like, he would do all these things and then come home, nothing. Then, time doesn't wait, right? We think we have forever. And time's like, oh shoot, I've been in the business for like 6 months, or I've been in the business for some amount of time. And he hated the phone so bad that he would go door knock. He would go door knock instead. And I always like to tell this story because it's just funny, but he used to wear a full suit, like he looked like he was going to church every day. And he would knock on a ton of doors, like a stupid amount. It was like too much. I think it was like 200, 300 doors, something ridiculous, like every day. And he had limiting beliefs about himself, so he would knock in Paris, like kind of the hood, like, you know, where he felt like he could, you know, he wasn't going to go knock on like in Temecula where doctors live and stuff like that. He was going to be in his comfort zone. So he would knock every day, and he'd come home exhausted, sunburnt, sweating, still with his suit on, like he would come, and nothing. And here we are, six months in, nothing, not one deal, nothing. And I'm working. I was a banker at Wells Fargo during this time, and now he's starting to feel embarrassed because he's the man of the house and he needs to provide. And here we are 6 months later, and he hasn't brought in anything. And so he's knocking, and one day he's by his car, and this guy comes up to him. He's like a pretty big dude, you know. I don't know if you guys see my husband, he's not a big old dude. And he comes up to him and he's like, yo, he's like, give him $20, you know? And my husband's like, so over it, and so 6 months, no money, just knocked $300, he's sweating, he's standing in the suit. And he's like, man, I haven't made money in 6 months, you give me $20. And my husband is not a fighter. Like, he's a peaceful man, but he was that over it. He was just like, you know, and I don't even know why I got this up. What are you talking about? 20%. He really, like, he was so disciplined with that. And then, so here we are 9 months later, 7 months later, no deals. And then on month number 8 or 9, he closed 7. And I think that that's what it took for him to realize, like, if I just do this, we're good. We are good. So for those of you who are still scared to do that 20%, like, all you need to do is taste a little bit of it, and I promise you it's not going to be so bad. I promise you. Okay? So now, what is one of the best ways that we can do, or let's see, how can I say this? One of the bold laws that I like, but I don't like, is if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. One, because doing my calendar just like, I used to look at my calendar and I used to be like, dude, I don't have time for nothing. Like, I have prospecting in there, I have my appointments in there, I have family time in there, like all these things. And just the thought of adding anything else was like overwhelming to me. To the point to where I will cancel on friends and be like, girl, have you seen this? Like, no, you can come over if you want, but I don't want to drive anywhere. Like it was that bad. And until I took this class recently, the coach, she was talking about how she puts everything in her calendar. Literally, wake up, pray, meditate, get ready for work, drive to work, get to, like, literally everything that she does every day. And then my mind, I was like, like if I saw that, I would be so overwhelmed with everything that's on my calendar. And then she said this. She said, because she even had personal time, call mom, hang out with cousin, whatever it was, with the people who were important to her. And I raised my hand and I was like, girl, like, like I'll put business in there, 100%, right? But personal time was really hard for me to schedule. Personal time for me or personal time for anybody else. Because I told her, the thought of adding more to my calendar just freaks me out. Because I want to open it and see all these things that I need to do that day because I will be overwhelmed. I'll freak out. And she said, you know what? She said, when people see my calendar, and it's all color-coded and stuff, people say, holy crap, girl, like you have time for nothing. She said, when I see my calendar, I see peace. Because there's time for me, there's time for my business, there's time for my family, there's time for my dogs, there's time for my health, there's time for learning, there's time for everything. So as long as when I see my calendar, I know I'm getting shit done. Because everything is on there. And I was like, oh. And it totally changed my perspective on it. And I came back and I told Brenda, okay, Brenda, I'm going to do my calendar. I'm going to do it just like hers, right? And I sit there and she probably, I'm like when you're trying to put a cat in like a tub of water, like imagine that, like, that was me trying to do my calendar. Like, oh, I'm going to go get a snack with that girl. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go. I did not want to do it because adding to my calendar was so stressful to me. But Brenda made me do it. That's why we hired her. And I did it, and you guys, I have had a challenge of waking up. My goal is to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Because if I don't do that, I don't spend time with God. And that's honestly, like, the only time that I have to really, like, focus and pray and read my Bible and journal is in the morning. Because my day goes away. My suegro, my father-in-law, is my neighbor, and Hector's grandma is my neighbor. So when I'm home, if family's over, that my night's done. Like, I'm with family, right? So, blessing, but not always. Because sometimes I just want to be home, you know? But anyways, I have to be up at 5 a.m. to make sure that I'm taking care of me. And forever it was a challenge. I can't wake up early. Well, I put it on my calendar to wake up at 5 a.m. to read my Bible, meditate, and all that. I put 30 minutes to that, and then I put my workout, and everything's in there. And I have been waking up at 5 a.m. ever since. Like that. I even put, and I also put what time I need to be in bed by. I need to be in bed by 10 for me to be okay with waking up at 5. And the reason I go to sleep late is because Hector can go to sleep at 2 in the morning and wake up at 6 and he's fine. I'm not. I need, like, sleep. And he doesn't. So I used to wait for him and be all cute like that, and we're past that. I'm like, you come be cute over here, because I'm going to bed. So I go to bed by 10 and I wake up at 5 a.m. and I've been doing it ever since I took this class because I put it on my calendar. It's so crazy. So now every day, the night before, I look at my calendar and see what it looks like, and I know what to expect. And if I need to move something, I'll move it, right? Like I don't delete it, I just move it to wherever it needs to go. And I let my calendar run my life. And now I'm reading my Bible every day. I'm praying every day. I have clarity every day. I'm journaling every day. I'm doing all the things that I know are going to make me better. Because I'm doing that. That's like, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Just learn that. And I guarantee you guys, if you put it on there, if you show me your calendar, I'll show you your results. I'll show you your life. Right? For me, my spiritual life was lacking. Yes, I pray. Yes, I do all those things. But like, I wanted to learn more about the Word. I wanted to learn more about God and all that. And I was like, well, it's not on my calendar. It's not a priority. Well, appointments are a priority. They're on my calendar. Right? Prospecting time's on my calendar because that's going to make me money. But what about me time? What about my health? What about my family? Call my mom. My mom and I have a complicated relationship. It's on my calendar now every Wednesday to give her a call. Every Wednesday. So if I choose not to do it, now I'm making a decision. But I have time because it's on my calendar. Right? So I challenge you guys to open up your calendars, look at it, and see what's on there because only your priorities are on there. Because if you have your appointments on there, listing appointment, buyer's consultation, whatever, that's a priority. That's important. What about family? What about you? What about date nights? What about your kids? What about health? What about meal prepping time? What about workouts? All that's important too. Keep your appointments with yourself too. Okay? All right. Now, there's a page on here, and there's a tool that, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the best at using this. But I do see the importance in it now that I've learned this class. And, sorry, I'm just checking the time. This is called the 411. Have you guys heard of it?
Yeah.
Jay talks about this all the time, how we should use it, and do. It's a great tool. It's a great tool, but we do need to build the discipline of using it. So if you guys look on page 37, we have Mike, the mega agent, and this is his 411. So 411 is 4 weeks. It should really be a 114, but I think they called it 411 because it's catchier. Because it's 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. So what are the activities that you need to do for 4 weeks to accomplish your goals for the month that will help you accomplish your goals for the year? Does that make sense? So breaking it down into smaller portions. So Mike the Mega Agent, he has his goals on here. He wants 24 listings, 18 buyers. He has different areas too. You can do this for your personal life. You could do this for your business. He has job, business, personal, financial, and personal. Okay? So for his, I'm just going to focus on one for time's sake. But he has, on his job, he has 24 listings sold, 18 buyers, 60 quality listings, and 150 listing appointments. And then for his monthly goals on his job, 5 listings, 2 listings sold, 2 buyers in escrow, 3 contracts, 15 listing appointments. And then for the week, he has all his goals for the week. Do you guys see that? So you guys have a blank 411 in your packet on page number 39. Okay? You have a blank 411 on there. So in a second, let me see what time it is. I'm going to respect Nikki's time too. Alright, so before we go into it and you guys fill it out, this is going to give you kind of an idea of what we're doing. This person had a goal to run a marathon. So they wrote down everything that they need to do to be able to run that marathon. Okay? They need to work on a diet plan, work on hydration, select a strength program, select a running regimen, and find an accountability running group. And then what they did is they numbered them from 1 to 5, which one's most important, number 1, number 2, like that. So the most important thing was to select a running regimen. Then they select the running regimen, and then they did other tasks on there. Join the upcoming 5K, practice on hills, time block training on the schedule, check equipment, and plan practice routes. The most important thing was to put it on the calendar. So they numbered it by most important things. So on the mega agent, Mike the mega agent, that's what he did too, right? Listings are where it's at. So his first priority was listings, on listing appointments, right? And then here, now this person time blocked their schedule. Choose, do I want to run in the morning or at night? I need a babysitter for my kids. Get a running watch. Coordinate with an experienced running partner or coach. Identify indoor training for the weather. And then coordinate with an experienced running coach. And then you keep going, right? So you have a blank 411 in your packet. And this is just practice. If you guys want to do a 411 for your business, there are people here in the office that can help you do that. Jay being one of them. I know Gabe can help you too. If you're in PC coaching, they can help you fill these out so that you can have a more clear track towards the goals that you want to reach for the year. And it's a really great tool for accountability for yourself, because if you're not doing the activities that you're supposed to be doing for those 4 weeks, you're not going to reach your monthly goals, therefore you're not going to reach your annual goals. Make sense? Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes, and then we're gonna have Nikki come up and kind of move back.
So I just want to uncover the food. I don't want to take it cold.
Oh, okay. No. We're almost there.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes to just fill out your 411. And this is just practice, guys. Don't overthink it. Just pick one of your goals, put it on there, and then break it down. Break it down. If it's listing appointment or sold listings, how many listing appointments do you need? How many people you need to talk to? If it's weight loss, I want to lose 30 pounds. How many do I need to lose per month? That means I need to do this per week, right? Thanks for hanging in there, guys. I know it's a lot.
Iris asked if we could give her a package.
Yeah, we could probably email it. I forget that I'm on camera. Or like, just like. Okay. I know you guys need more time. I know. Goals are required. But now you guys have the 411. Now you know what it looks like. And now you also have the mega agents example to follow. So you can use this 411 for literally anything. Anything that you want to accomplish, you can use it for. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say I use 411s religiously, but after taking this class, I definitely think it's something that we need to look into because we have a lot of goals, a lot of projects going on, and we do need to break them down into smaller portions because, okay? So I'm gonna finish up this segment, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna have Nikki come up. She is our sponsor for lunch. So, give me 5 more minutes.
Okay. Come up.
Sorry. So we'll have Nikki come up and then talk to you guys. And I'm thinking we do a working lunch. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Because I don't want you guys to get all sleepy. She brought like Chinese food and you guys are going to get all like heavy on me. So a working lunch, and then that way we can get you guys out sooner. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through the rest of this segment, and then we're basically done with this section. Okay, true. People think there's never enough time to be successful, but there is when you time block it. Again, goes back to your calendar. You have enough time. The first thing I told Brenda when I finished my calendar was like, oh, I have so much time. What have I been doing? I need more appointments. Like, that's literally exactly what I said to her as soon as I finished my calendar. So, homework for you guys would be to do that. I do recommend color coding it. For a couple reasons. One, it looks really pretty. But the other reason is because your brain will start connecting certain things to what it is. So like prospecting and appointments for us are green. Everything that's me time is pink, right? Everything that is Brenda's is purple because that's her favorite color. So anything I need to do for Brenda or with Brenda on my calendar is purple. So when I look on there and something's purple, I know Brenda needs me for something, right? So that we're just lazy, okay? And if you see colors, you just kind of know. So I do encourage you guys to do that. Try it out. It really works. I'm telling you. This whole time I was trying to build a discipline of waking up early, and I just put it on my calendar, and then I did it. And I've been talking about this forever. Like, Brenda's been with us since December. I've been telling her, I need to wake up at 5 a.m., but I can't. And I wouldn't. But I go to sleep at 10, and I did it, and then I wake up at 5, and I did it, and here I am. Like, oh crap, that's it. That's all it took. So I encourage you guys to do that. Any ahas before Nikki comes up? Any ahas from this portion?
Got a lot of work to do.
You got a lot of work to do. What else?
For me is, we tend to, complicate things a lot. And so what I'm really getting is just, focus on the little things. I'm sorry. Get the little things done that's going to lead you to the big victories. Because it happens to me where sometimes, we focus on the big things and we just get overwhelmed and the clarity is not clear. But when I do my list, right, and then I, check off whatever, I'm like, okay, I got that one done. It gets that momentum going inside of me. It's like, okay, how many more? So it's just the little victories that lead to the big victories for me. And that's what you've been saying this whole time.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Yeah, it's like contacts. How many contacts do you need to get appointments? How many appointments do you need to get the listing?
Yeah.
You just break it down to smaller. Any other ahas? No? All right. I know that one's tough. I know. Probably hurt some egos around here. Definitely hurt mine. I'm just going to read something for you really quick. It says, it's on page 45 at the bottom. Actually, on the top and bottom. Top says, the world doesn't know your purpose and priorities and isn't responsible for them. You are. And then it says, if you had an appointment with your hero or heroine, you wouldn't allow anyone to interrupt or take that time. Isn't an appointment with yourself just as important? The answer is yes. Yes. The answer is yes. So, going off of what Marcelino just said, 4 keys to successful time blocking. Be consistent enough to make it a habit. How many days does it take to build a habit?
66.
66 days. Yay! All right. Number 2, be thoughtful and purposeful about the items you list on your calendar. Don't just throw anything on there. Throw things that are going to make you better. Get purposeful with it. And number 3, always time block for the big rocks. That's your 20%. Okay? All right. I kind of hopped around on this one. All right, this is the other one. Protect your time block. Protect your time block. So whenever you're going to, like for example, Hector, when he's going to start cold calling, he builds a bunker, right? Make sure you're going to go somewhere. His bunker would be in here. I feel like everyone in the office knows that if you're in here between the hours of 9 and 12, you better be dialing. That's just like what this room became, right? So this would be their bunker. Store provisions, you make sure he has water. Make sure, like, he goes to the bathroom. Like that kind of stuff. Make sure you have a snack. Number 3, sweep for minds. Sweep for minds for Hector is get away from me and Brenda. Because we will ask him a ton of questions and interrupt him. So for him, he needs to get away from that. Right? And I think people know that when he's dialing, people don't bug him, and he hasn't even had to tell anybody that. People just know to leave him alone for a little while and then talk to him later. It's just a thing. And then number 4, enlist support. He tells me and Brenda to leave him alone until after 12. Please support me by not bothering me between these hours. Right? So, protect your time block. All right, we already did ahas. Okay, all right, Nikki, we are ready. We're ready for you.
Okay.
4 minutes behind.
Hi, everybody. I know you're probably all hungry and antsy, so I will be really quick. For anyone that doesn't know me, I'm Nikki with Old Republic Home Warranty. You're the lunch sponsor for today. So first of all, I'll just tell you the little goodies I have back there. So if you want to grab anything, these are jar openers. So if you're looking at them thinking they're going to clean your glasses or what the heck are they, they're the little rubber things to help you open jars. So if you need those, feel free to grab them. I also have Post-it notes, and then these are our little pricing tent cards. So if you need one of these to keep in your bag or wherever for handy to know the prices to write in the purchase agreement when you're writing up the home warranty part, these are a little easier to hang on to than actual brochures. So that's all the goodies that are back there on the table. As far as the home warranty goes, I just wanted to remind and maybe let some of the newer agents know why you should use the Crest, the Old Republic Crest home warranty. So I know I've come up here and talked about it a lot, how it ties in with your errors and emissions insurance, because Keller Williams The Lakes has their E&O with Crest. So if you use the Old Republic Crest qualified home warranty, so that's what you want to be writing in your purchase agreements, it's not just Old Republic, but Old Republic Crest, C-R-E-S. There's a few benefits. Oh, my paper's upside down. There's a few benefits. First one is if you are going on a listing presentation, we have these seller's protection certificates, not to be confused with home warranty seller's coverage, because they're two completely different things. But the Crest seller's protection will give your seller $50,000 worth of protection if the buyer sues them within the first 6 months of escrow closing, as long as it's their primary residence and it's not due to fraud. So these actual certificates you can include in your listing presentation. You can print as many as you need from the website. But I wanted to actually bring a visual for you guys to see, because I don't think I've done that before, and I'm a visual learner, and I know when you're going on listing presentations, some of the sellers, you might tell them, they're like, okay, yeah, but if they can see something and it's something tangible, it might click with them a little better. So I encourage you guys to use these certificates. Remember, if you're telling your seller this is the benefit they're going to get, make sure it's an Old Republic Crest warranty that gets ordered, not just a regular Old Republic warranty or not a Crest plan, because the last thing you want is to say they got that, something happens, and then they're like, where's my $50,000 in coverage? Because that would be bad. So that's the first benefit. It's a 13-month plan instead of a 12-month plan like the regular home warranty. All of our Crest products include the $1,500 in limited roof leak coverage, and they all also have the trade call fee guarantee. Meaning, if your client calls us out for service and something's not covered, we waive their service fee. They only pay if something's covered. Under a regular home warranty plan, you have to pay regardless if something's covered or not. If we send somebody out, or any company sends somebody out, a trade call fee or a service fee is due. With the Crest plan, that's our Crest promise. They're only paying if something's covered. And then for you guys on the agent side, you're also protected. So your deductible, if you get sued, would be reduced by $5,000. So if you get brought into a lawsuit, you have a deductible you have to pay with your E&O. And if you have this policy in place, the Crest home warranty, your deductible would be reduced by $5,000. So that's $5,000 less that you would have to pay. Nobody ever wants to get sued. Nobody ever wants to get brought into litigation, but unfortunately it happens. And in California, it happens a lot. So this is just an extra layer of protection. Typically, a home warranty is already part of the transaction anyways, so why not make it a Crest one to protect yourself and get the extra benefits as well? So, does anyone have any questions?
What's that price on?
It depends which level of coverage you want. The lowest one with AC starts at $590 for Crest Ultimate with AC for a single family up to 5,000 square feet. And then it goes up from there depending on do you want washer, dryer, fridge, pool, so on and so forth. But that would be your starting point, and then you can go up from there. So, any other questions? Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys. If you need anything, let me know. Feel free to pick up goodies. My card has my cell phone, my email, all the different ways to get in contact with me. And that's it. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mickey.
All right, so we are on step 3. The next one can take a little bit, but then the last couple ones are pretty quick. So thank you for hanging in there. So go ahead and grab your lunch, bring it back, and then we'll just do a working lunch. That way we can get you guys out a little earlier. Sound good? Yep. All right. I'll see you in a bit.
Oh, one announcement on the food just real quick. If there's anybody that's vegan, there is a special dish for vegan. So if you're not vegan, if you could let the vegan people eat that first, that would be awesome. And it is labeled.
I know. How are you? Good. How are you? Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So this is recorded,
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. Don't do that.
No, I'll be right.
I guess it was like Good stuff. Remember that client,
Yeah, $1,500. Yeah.
she sent me a house that she wants to see for family. Like,
That's like can't get back from there.
I know.
And it comes out heat things, if you need to rent peppers, if you're worried about being too hot or you want it to be hot, then heat a pepper or don't.
Yeah. You're so cool.
Well, I used to sheet the lead cleaners, and so I had some people come and think that's what they were, and I'm like, that's not.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, you should eat first.
Yeah.
Where did you get? Come from?
Really?
My son is this.
That's what I was so good.
He opens them up and he takes a release of one at a time.
Oh, really?
I have a question for you. I'm like, it gives it more flavor. It's very simple. It's just
Think about it for too long and then.
how to customize it. Sorry.
I didn't even realize Sophia and Jay were here, and they're usually, yeah. There's usually a few other people, but. Yeah.
Don't worry.
I also want to open this one. That's also what I started to tell my
Yeah, she's gonna be trying to do
My
it.
son had me up for
This other week.
September.
Yeah, but she's got no people. She did the right project.
Yeah, but I.
But, we're working on a project for dental offices, you know, so she left whatever she was working, you know, because we got to a point where she realized, you know, kind of like a well, here it's like treating beads, and someone in an agreement, a payment contract, you know, you're looking at all the things like so I'm just working on it, so I figured, you know, like, I figured I should get some.
Do better than I started.
I went to go get some, your food warmed up.
You doing good.
Yeah.
Oh, she's doing the challenge too?
No, just constantly. Doesn't have to be there all the day. Yeah.
Good for her.
Y bueno, quiero, no, que todo lo que luego lo va a comer mañana. Se va a mantener.
Are you doing the workout? I saw your, you went hiking with your friends. Oh my God, you did so good. Yeah. The better than them? Oh, yeah. Well, no, not better than them, I'm still not good. But,
I think we already had training here.
But when I first did that thing,
Your family doesn't like
it?
Takes it. No way.
Oh,
that's accurate. But he'll feel like every now and then, he'll feel like that.
Yeah.
He'll get it, but it's very rare. Does it?
2.5 miles up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then the rest down, just 3-4 miles.
Oh, can you make it extra less?
But I was like, I was
Stop.
just.
Yeah. You didn't know.
This is hard work.
I really got
Because I'm not.
But then at the same time, like, I get big screens and stuff, I'm like you just said.
Yeah, it wasn't, yeah.
I was like, what?
That's
weird,
yeah.
He just gets like something sorry, and I'm like, what the hell?
Sit down and go over on the floor. Are you feeling it? Like, what's the problem in your everything? Yeah. This morning, I was just being.
Oh.
Oh, the drop.
That way it's like, how hard is it really gonna be?
That's right, that's right.
And it's whole journey.
Yeah. Good, great.
All right, who are we missing? Arlen with the meal prep. Okay. Yeah.
Leftovers. You cannot.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Sophie, step up.
All right, missing a couple, but we're gonna keep going. Keep eating, don't worry about it. I just wanna get you guys out early because I know it's a long class. Our next section is gonna be from, going from E to P. This is one of my favorite ones because it's one of the ones I struggle with the most. First of all, are you guys getting anything out of the class? Is this helping you?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yay! Good. Okay, good. All right. So we're gonna go from E to P. Get purposeful. The fundamental ceiling of achievement. P is the entrepreneurial way, doing what comes naturally. P is a purposeful way, doing what comes unnaturally. So a cool way to remember this is E is easy and P is painful. So going from E to P, that's going to make a huge difference in your business and in your life, to be honest with you. So it's kind of like I think the slides got mixed up a little. Backwards or forward. Sorry guys. The slides got mixed up a little. All right. Sorry guys, let me find myself really quick. Alright, well, okay, we're just gonna keep going. Alright. E to P, easy to painful. Entrepreneurial to purposeful. This is basically what I was talking about at the beginning for us who have been in the business and who have, hit some of our goals and all that. This is the ceiling of achievement that a lot of us hit, where we start, our limiting beliefs come back. Our fears come back. We're tired, it's too hard, we're not good enough, I don't need it, I'm doing fine where I'm at. That's where it comes in for us who have been in business. So for those of you who are new, you're not alone. Everyone who's in here and who's doing real estate is feeling the same things that you're feeling. The only thing is that it's on a different level. That's all it is. But we're all sitting here struggling with wondering if we can do it. Can I make the change? Can I quit my job and focus 100% on real estate? I don't know, right? Like all those thoughts that you guys have, we have them too. It's just on another level. So my slides are a little, I don't know what happened when we added the videos, but on page 50 at the bottom, it says high achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they break through their, oh my gosh. High achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they break through the ceiling of natural behavior. Okay? So, we have a maths coach that we talk to every single week. And we were setting goals. And our coach was like, your goals are too small. Like, we were like right about to hit them, you know? Like he's just like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, what are you talking about? That's our goals. And he started asking us to think bigger and got all, not coaching, by the way, it can be like counseling, therapy, it's everything in one. So that day he started asking us like, well, what's up with you guys? Like, why don't you want more? And we're just sitting there like, we're good, like, we're fine. Like, we don't, I mean, you know, like, we have our rentals, we have this, we have that, our business is doing good, like, there's nothing more we need, you know, like, that was kind of our attitude. And he started kind of digging deeper on where that came from, and it turns out, and I'll talk for myself, it was, I grew up in a home where my parents, we had a lot of experiences. We went to the beach, we went to Disneyland, to Six Flags, we did all those things, but we were always struggling to pay the bills. Like my dad gave us a lot of experiences, but there was always that stress in the house because we couldn't like afford what we were doing. Does that make sense? So, and then there was this idea that people who drove nice cars and had a lot of money were rude and stuck up and not good people. Like, there was this, like, I don't know, it's just kind of how I grew up thinking, that wealthy people were just, like, snobby and they just think they're better than everybody else, right? That's how I grew up thinking. But here I am, like, but I don't want to be poor, man. Being poor sucks. Like, I was like, no, there's no way. Like, whatever, I'll be an asshole, whatever. I'm not poor. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, no. Sorry, cameras, but I was like, no, I don't want to live like that. So I thought very differently than my family. So when we were talking with our coach and we're talking about what we want in life and all these things, I was like, well, I do want this big custom home and I do want all these things, but like, I don't need them. Like, am I just being greedy at this point? Like, you know? And then they started asking me, well, why? Why do you want this house? And I was like, well, I want this house because, so by the way, we designed a home. We already have the lot. We just have to start building it, basically. And the house that we designed is 4,500 square feet, 1 story. It's 4 bedrooms and has all the cool stuff. And we bought an acre to build it on. And me and Hector we've been together 15 years. And we've been buying real estate together since we were 19, 20. Like, we've been doing this together forever. And it's just been something we talk about, and now we're at this place where it's a possible, like, oh shoot, like, we're actually doing what we've been talking about all these years. And for some reason, one reason or another, we don't do it. We haven't started the project, whatever. So then the coach asked me, well, why do you want this house? I said, well, my dad passed away 2021. My mother-in-law passed away 2019. My brother passed away 2019 as well. And my husband's grandpa passed away, was probably 2016, I believe, 2016. We had a lot of losses, like boom, 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 it was crazy. My sister-in-law passed away also 2016. So my brother and my sister-in-law who passed away, and she gave birth to twins and then passed away the next day. And she already had 5 kids. And then my brother passed away 3 years later, so now there's the kids, right? And then when my dad passed away, it was like, well, now we lost, my parents split up, so now we lost like the main, like where you do Christmas, and we lost it because that was my dad's house. And then on my husband's side, we lost my mother-in-law, which would have been, you know, grandma's getting older. It's just a reality, right? So it would have been my mother-in-law's home where that would have been Christmas time and all those things. Hector has a little brother and sister. And so I said, when I see this house, I see it really big because I want to fit both families in my house. I want my house to be the house. Like, you don't make plans on Christmas or Thanksgiving because it's always at Hector and Aurora's house. Like, that's the house. That's what I want. That's the reason. My husband and I are also youth leaders for our church, and every time they come over, they fill our house like in 2 seconds, and it's like a disaster in like 5 minutes, and it's crazy because it's like 20 teenagers just show up, and it's like, you know. And now I do like a Bible study at my house and stuff like that. So like, I see my house as like a headquarters, if you will, for people to come together and stuff like that. That's why I want such a big house. It's not because I'm not trying to clean 4,500 square feet, like, you know, I want it for different reasons. So then the coach was like, okay, so then if you don't do this, like, look at everything that people are gonna miss out on. Like, where are you gonna meet for Christmas? Where are you gonna do these things? And I was like, oh man. So it really got me thinking. So now, when I go into this section, and I start setting my goals and I start doing all that, I have that picture in mind of why I want things. So when I start getting uncomfortable and saying, no, like, we're okay with making X amount per year. We're cool with that. We're comfortable with that. We can still invest with that. We can still travel with that. We're cool. But can I build my house with that and maybe get a pool with that? Can I do that? Probably not. So I need to get uncomfortable and break through the ceiling so that I can get to that next level. So I can teach my kids that, hey, if you want something bad enough, you can get it. Look at where we're at. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's why this section is one of my favorite ones, but it's also the one I struggle with the most, and it's all because of those limiting beliefs. All right, so we're just gonna.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Is the E and P, do they stand for easy and pay for, or is that just the way you memorize it?
That's how I memorize it. It's entrepreneurial. It's entrepreneurial to purposeful. So for example, entrepreneurial, you guys said, I have a savings account or I have a job right now, I'm going to jump into real estate. So that was like, I have feet, I have hands, I have a computer, I have a little bit of savings, I could do this. That's that, right? Then purposeful is, I'm going to time block and I'm going to start making 20 contacts a day, and I'm going to set 2 appointments a week, and I'm going to go on and I'm going to take 1 listing a month. Now you're getting purposeful. Now you're getting uncomfortable. Now you're not just playing realtor. Now you're actually doing things to make some money. Does that make sense? Natural was, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it. See what happens. I'm pretty crazy. I do crazy things. I'm going to go do this. Right? Like, I've done harder things. So that was easy. Purposeful is, I'm really doing this. I may need a coach. Like, I might need to get more purposeful with that. I may need to start saving a little bit more, right? So that's kind of what that means. For people who are producing is, oh shoot, I need to hire an admin. That's another salary. That means I need to sell more homes. Anything, you know what I mean? Like that's the purposeful part. And I call it painful because, love you Brenda, but hiring is like, it's scary, it's painful. It's a huge blessing, but it's also a huge responsibility, right? So that's why I call it pain. All right. So my slides are a little all over the place, but it's okay. Moving from E to P. So step 1, focus. Write your goals down and focus on your 20%. Do you guys see how all of this is like intertwined? Like there's a reason why they're in the order that they are and why we're even talking about this. Write down your goals. Focus on the 20%. Number 2, find strategic options. Ask, how can this be done? Ask, are there different or better ways to do it? Number 3, look for models to follow. Attend trainings that teaches you how to get where you want to go. Identify mentors and people who have done it. That one is my favorite. I am a huge believer, and if you are going to go follow someone and copy them, you better check that they are killing it already. I'm just saying. You do not go and follow someone who's at the same level as you. You follow someone who's where you want to be. Okay, that's like, in real estate, there's so many shiny objects out there. There's so many people who make it look like they're killing it and they're not. You have to make sure that whoever you follow is actually doing it, has done it in the past, whatever. Whatever you struggle with, that's the class you should be taking. If you don't know how to do a buyer's consultation, you should be watching the buyer's consultation class a million times until you can't even get it out of your head. Literally. And I'm telling you because I did it. I recorded Sophia and I played that thing like as I was getting ready and on my drives everywhere until it literally just flowed. I could do it on a napkin with my eyes closed. I could do it in English. I could backwards Spanish, whatever. That buyer's consultation, I'll go up against anyone with it because that's how much I focused on making sure that nobody could ever take my client because nobody would go through the process the way I do. But I learned that from Sophia, who was already doing it. You guys have heard me before. I said, as long as Sophia's making more money than me, if she tells me to take the class, I'm going to take the class. Period. Right? So, I know I want to rant there, but pick your models. Who are you modeling? Who's doing what you want to do? Don't just follow people just because you're comfortable. Sometimes it's the people that make you uncomfortable that you should be hanging out with, to be honest with you. Sophia's scary. I don't know if you guys have ever been coached by Sophia, but like she's cool, but she's also very scary. And that's who I stick next to because I admire how much she can get done in a day. Just that alone. Right? Number 4, install systems. Time block. Practice your scripts. Create checklists. Make sure the systems you install work consistently and effectively. Time block, time block, time block. It's a big, big part of moving from E to P. Number 5, bring in accountability. Measure what you do, keep track of the 411 goal sheet, and have an accountability partner. Who is helping you stay accountable? I did mention that it is important that you hold yourself accountable because then if you're lying to people, you're not going to feel good about yourself, right? But you do need an accountability partner. The guys, when they're in here dialing, they probably haven't said it, but they are each other's accountability partners. When Hector's not here, or if I walk in without Hector, Marcelino's like, where's Hector at? And I'm sure part of it is because, like, hey, you guys are always together, is everything okay? But the other part is, like, I'm here by myself dialing, like, where's he at? You know? Or, let's see, hiring a coach. We have a coach every week. He asks us for our numbers. Every single week, how much are we spending? How many people are we talking to? What are we doing? How many deals did we get? How many escrows did we open? All that stuff, and he's going to ask us every week, so we better not have the same answer every week. Right? We better have a better answer than 0 or saying nothing down here, right? We should have something better to tell him. That's why an accountability partner is so important. If you're learning, if you're getting started and you're struggling with scripts or you're struggling with whatever, call each other at random. I used to do that too. My accountability partner during both was Sophia. How that happened? No idea. I think she was sitting next to me and I don't know, but so every day I had to call her because she's crazy busy and I had to call her like stupid early and call her and pretend I was cold calling with Sophia. And it was so scary every time because like, okay, she's not that bad, okay, but she's Sophia, so like I hold her to such a high standard that I hold myself to that higher standard when I speak to her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like she's leaps and bounds where I want to be. So when I speak to her, I try to get as close to her level as possible. And let me tell you, I don't always feel like I'm there. So it takes a lot more out of me whenever I role play or coach with her or anything like that. Does that make sense? So whenever you guys pick your accountability partners, make sure that it's someone who's going to pull you up with them or you're going to go up together. Okay? Any questions on that part?
No, but I had Andrew as my partner,
Mm-hmm.
and I was scared calling him. But you know how we were able to trade after each week? Well, we made it a thing where he was going to be my partner every week. Oh my gosh, I was so scared to call him too.
Yeah, because he's a cold caller too, and he's so good at
But
scripts.
he's so good, yeah.
Yeah, like I learned so much about scripts during that time with Sophia. I learned that it was okay for me to be like, hey girl, what's up? I learned that because I was always learning from Hector, and me and Sophia have more of a similar personality than me and Hector do. Hector's very transactional, very like that, and I was like, I don't talk like that though. Like that's not how I talk. And then Sophia, she's totally different. So it was actually really good for me to do that, but it was like super scary. So E2P, start getting uncomfortable. Whatever it is that you're holding yourself back from, that's what you need to jump into, right? For us, it was hiring an ISA. That was a very scary move. That's another salary, something we've never done before. We gotta hope that it works, right? We have to make sure that we're financially ready for that. Teach them, coach them, train them. Make sure that we can sell our vision to him so he doesn't want to leave, right? So it's a huge step, but we took it because we know that in order to get to where we want to go, we can't do it by ourselves. And I'm trying to be mom, so Hector's on his own. I'm just kidding. But yes. So we need to set up our life the way we want it to hit our goals, right? Do you guys have any questions or any comments on E2P? Anything that you don't understand? This is kind of a shorter chapter, but
You're doing this business and personal, or is this only
both?
personal? Okay.
I mean, in personal and business. Let's see, where am I at in personal? Okay, let's get personal. So for me, and I'll just go with the whole, like, I really want to be a mom. And I was sick for 12 years. For a long time, I had ovary problems, I had multiple surgeries, I had all kinds of stuff going on. And I'm finally not sick. And I haven't been sick for probably since like December. I've been like a normal person. And so I was like, okay, in the past, when I was sick and I was scared that I could never get pregnant, I would out of desperation, I would like look for specialists and doctors and like always was taking pregnancy tests and all these things, and it was so much. And so I realized, okay, this is not, I need to get healthy first, and then we'll deal with that. Well, now that I'm healthy, my next step was to start seeing if I would ovulate. Sorry guys, but see if I would ovulate like a regular woman, you know? Because every time I would take an ovulation test, it would be negative. I just was all over the place. My hormones were jacked, it was crazy. And there was this fear that, okay, I can take the test and it'll be positive. If it's positive, awesome, that's great. And oh shoot, that means I can get pregnant. What if I'm a terrible mom? And like all these things would like come, right? And then I would be like, oh, but what if it's negative? Then I'm gonna be heartbroken. Then I gotta go to the doctor again, see what's going on, and like deal with that. And I've been dealing with this for 12 years. I don't wanna do that. Like, how about I just stay comfortable and do nothing? And just see what happens. I could do that. But because I had so many challenges and because I was sick and because of all that, it would be stupid for me to just sit there and hope that everything was fine. So I started ovulation testing. And that was me going from E to P because that was super scary for me because I didn't know what that was going to do for me emotionally, stress. I didn't know how that was going to affect me if it wasn't what I wanted as far as results. I didn't know, but if I didn't know, then like, it's like when you tell someone like, oh, I want to buy a house, but I don't know if I qualify. Well, let's check. Like, We're not gonna know unless we check. Like literally, that was me, and in not house buying terms. And so I started testing, and I've been getting positive tests, and everything's great. And now it's literally like now I'm like, okay, I'm good. We're doing what we need to do, and now it's in God's hands. You know what I mean? Like now I can relax and know that I'm doing everything that I can do right now, right? And now what I'm working on is stuff like this, mindset stuff. I want to be a good leader. I'm asking a lot of questions to like moms and like stuff they deal with and all that stuff because like I want to prepare for that, and that's me getting super uncomfortable. My next step, and it's actually on my growth plan, I want to go and purchase like a baby outfit, and I'm so scared to do that because like you know all the possibilities, but like that is getting me uncomfortable for what's next in my life. Because I mentioned to you guys before, maybe pregnancy is not for me, maybe that's not God's plan for me, but adoption could be. Right? Maybe we're blessed in our business because that's what we're supposed to do. I don't know. But regardless, I need to take that step and get prepared for that. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you can use it in I guarantee you that there's something in your life that you know you can be better at, but you're too scared to take that step.
You can use it on your fitness.
Fitness, yeah.
From doing the basic to like, be purposeful to where like, not only you work out, not only you go for a walk, but now you also watch what you're eating, so you could be really on point with it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically going for like basic to like,
Yeah. Yeah, or like it's like when people start, like Brenda, she's on 75 hard. She went from never working out to working out twice a day for 75 days, and now she's trying to do a Spartan race. You know what I mean? But that was her going from E to P. E to P. And then when she does her Spartan race, like, I don't know, I'm just going to enter a bikini contest or something. You know what I mean? like that's her going from E to P, and every time it's going to get harder and harder, but you're so much stronger and stronger every time. So when you first start real estate and everyone wants to make $100,000, then you get to $100,000 and you're like, oh, okay, well now I want to make $200,000. What does it take? And honestly, it takes more work. It does in different ways, but it does, right? Like our financial goals are different. And I feel like it's more work because now I have employees that I have to worry about. Maybe it's not more work like boots on the ground, but it's more work in like learning, preparing, showing up, staying positive, reading books, like doing all these other things that I wasn't doing before when it was just me. Make sense?
Touch the hem of his garment.
What's that?
You touch the hem of his garment.
Absolutely. That's right. So, E to P, guys, don't be scared. Do the things. Those things that you're holding back from, that is the thing you need to do to get to the next level. Stop thinking about it, just do it. Right? I'll share this and we'll move on. Our coach told us this. Hector was scared to hire that ISA. Sorry, babe. Hector was scared to hire that ISA. And then coach said, I did. and then he said, have you done hard things before? And we're like, yeah, when we started real estate, And he's like, were you scared? I'm like, yeah, I was scared. Did you do it anyways? Yeah. Was it hard? Yeah. Did you do it anyways? Yeah. Were you scared? Yeah. And what about when you went door knocking for the first time? Were you scared? Yeah. Did you do it anyways? I did. And now look where you're at. Like, we've done things in our life where we said, like, damn, this is scary. Or, holy crap, this might not work. But we did it anyway. And look where you're at now. So that's E2P. That's E2P. I'm too scared to hire an admin. What's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work out. You lose a couple thousand. If you do it properly with the 30, 60, 90 and follow career visioning and all that stuff, it's controlled what you can lose, and then you move on. And try again, if that's your goal. Right? If it's not your goal, then it's whatever applies to you. But that was actually very powerful when he did that with us. He's like, were you scared? Mm-hmm. Did you do it anyway? Yeah. Right. Well, then what are you scared of? Go do it again. You know? All right. Any ahas on this part? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Do it anyway.
But by being scared, it kind of tells you what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or by, feeling uncomfortable in a situation and now you do it more often, it becomes comfortable and then you're like, oh, okay, what's next?
Exactly. You jump out of planes.
That's
Literally.
I know everybody says that, and I do, and I run off mountains, but it's such a different, I've been trying to find all these worlds of real estate, and I did realize that real estate and skydivers like to party, so we do have something very in common.
There's that. But I'm sure the first time you did it, you were scared.
Oh my God, I cried.
And you did it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. At some point when you start, Brenda was so scared when she started 75 Hard. Honestly, we say that it's scary because, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? Really, that's a bunch of BS. What we're really scared of is failing. That's really what it is. We're not scared of losing the money or looking no, we are scared to fail because nobody likes to fail. But Gary Keller says that if you're going to fail fast and fail forward. The faster you fail, the faster you can make a change, the faster you'll be successful. The longer you take to fail, the longer your goals are spread out. You have to try, you have to do it. You've done hard things.
One of the, I don't know if it's connected to this, but my son, who's 9 years old, and he's always, starting soccer, starting math tests, or starting this. He's always said, I'm scared. One of the things that I motivated to say, that I tell him is, yes, good, that's a good thing. It's actually a great thing to be scared. Why that? Because it makes you focus. Make you focus on what you're gonna do and learn more about it. So I don't know. I don't tell them not to do it. I tell them just go through it, and I have to apply it to myself.
Yeah. And if you're scared, it means that you care.
You're scared, Ronaldo?
No, right now, that's the reason I speak in book because I don't like to talk. I don't like to, in crowds. So same thing.
You know what's crazy? Believe it or not, I used to be so shy. I used to be shy to the point where I would like in school, they asked my parents if I had some kind of issue because I wouldn't talk at all. I just was so quiet. And then when I started working at In-N-Out, they wanted me to train people, and I was like, oh God, no, please, no, I just didn't want to, but I wanted to make more money, so I had to learn how to do that. And then here, Sophia, I told her that I didn't like to do that and that I just didn't feel ready to do that, but people see the talents in you that you don't see, and she forced me to teach a class. And it's probably one of the worst classes I've ever taught. I don't know. It was a buyer's one. And now, this is what I love. If I could do this all day and just teach people stuff, that would be, Hector will kill me. But, because it takes me away from our business, but I love it. But it's those things that you're scared of that you have to do. Especially if you're building a team and all those types of things. Maybe not in front of a class like this, but you're going to have to develop that skill to be able to lead people because of the confidence that it brings. But like you said with your son, but it's because you care. It's because you care. Before I started teaching this class, I did a prayer and I was like, I don't want to waste these people's time. I want to bring value to them. What if I think I'm prepared and I'm not? What if in my mind I'm prepared but not for them? I care more about what you guys are taking out of this class than me because I already did the learning. But it's because we care that we don't want to do it. And it's also limiting beliefs on what we think about ourselves. Like, I tend to sometimes think we don't deserve certain things, you know? Like, maybe I don't have what I want because it's not for me. Maybe I'm not a person who deserves that. I don't know. That's obviously a limiting belief. That's not what God says about me, and that's not what I show. But in my mind, I'm like, well, how come all these other people have it and I don't? Maybe something's wrong with me, right? Because that's the easier way to go. It's easier to agree with a negative thought than to fight the negative thought and go positive. It's just easier to agree with it. Remember, I said it earlier, your first thought is going to come. It's what happens when your second thought. You're right, you shouldn't speak in front of people because, I don't know, whatever it is. Instead of saying, no, I've heard other speakers and they say very powerful things and I know more than them, right? Or whatever it is that you have to say. That's what I had to do today. I told Jay multiple times, I'm not even kidding you. I told her, Jay, I don't know if I should be teaching this class. There's so many other people. Like, what am I going to tell them? Like, what am I, like, me and Hector are barely even taking off. Like, I don't have a story. What am I going to tell them? And she'd be like, Aurora, this and this and this and this and this. Like, all these reasons why I should teach the class. But, like, if she would have rescheduled this, I would have been so cool with it. I'm not even kidding you. I felt very underqualified to teach it. But I'm glad I'm here doing it because I'm only going to get better after today. I'm only going to get better. And I care. I really do care. I really, I truly think that I'm here teaching it because I do want to bring value. And I do care about what you guys think about yourselves, too. I really do. So do the things that you're scared of, like you tell your son. Whatever you're scared of is what's going to take you to the next level. Our comfort zone does nothing for us. Okay? All right. Now, step 4, make being learning based the foundation of your action plan. A learning-based individual is an individual who has made the decision to use effective learning as the foundation piece of their action plan to develop their life. When you do your calendar, because I know you're all going to go home and do your calendar and you're going to color code it, education has to be in there. It has to be because it's a priority. You have to continue to grow. The same way those of you who have kids, you tell your kids to learn, go to school. Well, you have to walk that walk too. Let's see. You have to walk that walk too and continue growing. You do not want your kids to outgrow you. If you're a leader of a team, your team cannot outgrow you. Are they going to be good at different things? Absolutely. But you always have to continue growing. Always, 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 always. So when you do your calendar, you're going to do all your personal stuff, birthdays, vacations, all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to do education part on there too. You're going to add education. So like for me, my education is like a teal blue color. I don't know what color it is, but it's that color. And I noticed that there's not enough of it on my calendar. There's not enough of it, so I need to add more. I need to go look for things that I can learn to be better at what I'm doing. So that's also how your calendar will help you.
Do you have a paper calendar or do you have a digital?
I do Google because of our team. And I'm that girl who every year buys a cute little 2023 calendar with the pen and then it just sits there and I don't do. That's me, so I stopped doing that and now I just use my phone calendar. And I do everything, I live off my phone. Like I do everything off my phone, so it's just easier for me. And then Brenda runs my life. So she needs to have access to like move stuff around.
Chasing her for a book.
Yeah, so she's sometimes she'll need to move things for me or add things or take things off. So that's why I do digital. But it's whatever works for you. If you're one of those cute girls who like just a little thing. I wish I was that. I'm not. I wish I was, but I'm not.
I think I do the same thing.
They're so cute, but
Yeah.
they're expensive, and they just sit there.
They
So
just sit there.
Hector realized what happened and said, stop. All right, so know for doing sake. Tribal pursuits leads to nowhere. Knowing for knowing's sake is ignorant based. I know what I know, and I'll ignore anything else. For higher self-actualization, productivity, and enlightenment, know for doing sake. I know what I know, and there's more to know. Know for doing sake. We're not here to become professional students. It is good to be in training classes, but you have to take at least one thing out of every class and implement. There's no point in taking time out of your day away from your families, all that stuff, if you're not going to implement. It's a waste of time. Okay? All right. The 4 levels of competency. All right, number 1, unconscious incompetence. Means we don't know what we don't know. So when you start in real estate and you show up on your first day, you don't even know what question to ask because, like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what I don't know. Like, that's literally where you're at. Like, you don't even know what questions to ask to get you to the next level. That's unconscious incompetence. Then you sit with someone and they say, okay, you're going to need to, make some phone calls, set up your database, get your business card, set up your MLS, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now you have knowledge. Then you go to conscious incompetence. We now know what we don't know. Okay, now I know that I don't know how to talk to a buyer, how to talk to a seller, what goes into a mortgage. Now I know basically what I need to learn. Does that make sense? Okay, so then, now you have that, then it transfers to wisdom. Then you go to conscious competence. Now we know. Now I went to the trainings, I took the classes, now I know how to do these things. And then it turns into a habit, unconscious competence. Now we just do it without thinking about it. That's what I was talking about earlier. Script practice. First, it's like our ISA dude. We gave him a script and day 1, we're like, here you go. And he just hopped on and he didn't know what he didn't know. He didn't know what to expect. He didn't know nothing. He just jumped in and was like, okay, cool. Now he's like, hey, I need to know more about mortgages. I need to know more about interest rates because they're asking me these questions. I need to know more about this. So now he knows what he doesn't know. Does that make sense? Then we're going to teach him about that. And then he's going to, that's the process he's going through right now. And honestly, my favorite place to be is you don't know what you don't know. Because you're fearless. You don't know how bad it could be. You don't know that someone can cuss you out on the phone and all that. You don't know. You're just like, okay, well, that's what they said to do, so I'm going to do it. That's like the best place to be. Because then once you know, that's where fear kicks in. All of a sudden, you're like, I know that people get upset sometimes, and they're going to cuss me out, and they're going to do X, Y, Z. So now I know, and that's where those limiting beliefs and all that kind of stuff comes in. And then when wisdom comes, it can go 2 routes. You can say, okay, well now I know, so I don't need to go to that class anymore. I don't need to hear from anyone because now I know. So it can be like, okay, great, now I know, and now I'm just going to create a habit out of what I know. Make sense? All right. All right. High achievers reach their goals by making training, education, and self-development the foundational pieces of their action plan. Training is so important. Training and education. Self-development is so important. So important. I was not a school person at all. I told you guys I was skating through life. But I tried. But I do love self-development. I do love that, and I love it for a couple reasons. The first one, the real big one, is because I wasn't the kid that people expected anything from. Like, for real, like, my two oldest brothers, they were doing their thing, but my brother who's older, he's about a year and a half, barely 2 years older, and he's just, everything came so easy. All the time, everything was so easy for him. Soccer was easy, everything was easy. Me, I had to practice longer, had to read more, had to do all that. And so, it created a lot of limiting beliefs for me. A lot. Like, I was just like, I will never be like my brother. You know, I will never, he got a job as a personal banker, I got a job at In-N-Out, right? Like, I mean, I didn't know at the time what I didn't know, but In-N-Out pays really good money. But at the time, it was like, I flip burgers, you work with money. You know what I mean? Like, it was constantly a comparison that, by the way, I was making. Nobody was comparing us, but I was. And so, for me, self-development is the most important thing, because it wasn't until I was like, hold up. I may not be the smartest, but I work way harder than he does. Way harder. Because at first I had to, because or else I would have done nothing. But now I'm like, oh shoot, I'm down to go an hour before the game and stay an hour after the game to work on my kick or whatever it was. I'm cool with that. My brother, he didn't need to, so he got a little bit lazier than I was. Because he didn't need to. So now as an adult, I'm willing to listen to that video till I can't stand it anymore, until I learn it. Because I was doing that my whole life since I was little. So now I may not be the one who picks things up like that, but when I do, you better watch out. Because when I get it, and I take it, right? So but it had to take self-development for me to realize that. I had to realize that okay, I need to learn how to accept who I am and use my strength and my weakness to be this better person, to be this high achiever. Because I told myself I will never be poor, ever. My family went through some things. We were homeless for a while. My parents sent us to Mexico because they couldn't afford to even have us here sometimes. It was rough. I've experienced what that is, and I told myself, I will never be poor, ever. I will work 5 jobs before I'm poor. I won't be poor, ever. And I have worked hard my entire life, so that doesn't even scare me. Honestly, money does not scare me. I will work anywhere. And I flipped patties for a while, and I'm pretty good at that too. So I will do whatever it takes. I will never be broke, ever. So that's great, and that got me to here, but now I'm not broke anymore. So now I have to develop myself to think differently and say, okay, now I'm not running away from being poor. I'm running towards being wealthy. I'm running towards being a leader. I'm running towards these other things. Does that make sense? But it took self-development for me to start thinking that way. Because if I was still thinking the way my family thinks, there's no way I'd be standing here teaching this class right now. I would still be at In-N-Out. Which I would probably be making great money, but I'd also be coming home exhausted, smelling like cheese and onions every day, wearing a stupid little hat every day. But I would be cool because, they pay pretty well.
Do you get any crap from your family now? Do they still try to keep you down? You think you're too much?
Yeah, so before I was patty flipper and whatever, now I'm just money hungry.
To your family?
Yeah, well, my side. Hector's side's not like that. My side's like that. And now I'm just money hungry, and I'm just, all I care about is money, and that's why my house is. And
Is this where you say your relationship with your mom is difficult?
yeah, that's a whole nother story, girl. That's a whole other, let's not even go there. But, yeah, so now, if I remember when I got my first BMW, I got home, I was so excited, and I was going to show my family my car, and my brothers were there, and my brothers were like, why why'd you feel that you needed to bring your car here? I was like, well, I'm like 20, like I'm like young, you know, like it's not a BMW. And like, what? I got a new car, like here's my car, you know? And they're like, you just want everybody to see what they don't have, and you just blah, blah, blah. Like they just, like it was like, oh shoot, okay, well, whatever.
You fell off.
Yeah, I was like, all right, bye, I'm getting my BMW and leave. And at that point, I hadn't self-developed, and I was like that. Like, if you think you're better than me, well, maybe I am. I don't know. Like, that's your bad. That's what you think. Like, I was like toxic about it before, and now I understand that it was never a me thing. It was a them thing. It was a them thing. Like, nobody is upset that you have nice things. They're upset that they don't. You know what I mean? But it took me a long time to get there, and I had to do a lot of self-development to get there. Last year, me and Hector spent $20,000 on self-development. Like, that's how important it is to us.
PSI, baby.
PSI.
PSI.
Like, that is how important it is to us to develop one's self. Because now, like, it is so hard to make me mad. Like, I used to pop off. I was a little chola came out of me real fast. Don't get me wrong, I don't mess with me. I still have gangster brothers, but like, I was very defensive because my own family was constantly attacking everything I did. My own family was the ones calling me a pie flipper. They were the ones doing that, so I built this like defense mechanism. So I was like, nobody's gonna mess with me ever. And I showed up to every room like that, like with an attitude as, don't mess with me. I had a lot of people tell me recently that I was very intimidating for people to talk to me. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm probably still carrying a little bit of that energy. But now that I've worked on myself, I know that I don't constantly need to be that way. Like, that's a them thing. I'm here to I'll show you exactly what I did, how I did it, and how you can do it too. But it's a self thing. So self-development, do it. I promise you won't regret it. And it's a foundational piece of your action plan. If you guys have an action plan for your goal, self-development's worth that. Okay? We're just gonna skip the videos because they're not that great anyways. Okay.
You can tell us what channel to go look for anyways.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share the slides with you guys because they'll have the videos in there. They're all in Connect. I just put them all in the site.
Oh, okay.
So it's just somebody in the company giving you an example of how they experienced this section. That's what it is. So it's actually really good. I didn't need that. They're not bad. I have notes in my packet, but the coach said there is not a lack of resources. There is a lack of resourcefulness. There is not a lack of resources. There is a lack of resourcefulness. The resources are out there. The books are out there. The podcasts are out there. The people are out there. The teachers, the coaches, the classes, it's out there. You just need to be more resourceful, find it, and learn it, right? So between pages 61 all the way to 67, 69. Those are all classes that Keller Williams offers. There's Ignite, there's Career Visioning, there's Quantum Leap, there's Six Personal Perspectives, there's a big Winning with Buyers, Winning with Sellers. Literally every class that you can imagine, we have it, and it's in your Connect, KW Connect. And this office constantly has trainings all the time we have training. I'm actually part of the education committee, and I don't teach people, but I do sit down with leadership and discuss our calendar. So if at any point you guys have any trainings that you want to see more of or less of, let me know, because if this coach actually said this, feedback is the breakfast for champions. So So we cannot win if we're not getting feedback, good or bad. We need it so that we can be better. I don't want to bring trainings here if you guys are like, okay, again. Like, I want to bring trainings that you guys want to see. Make sense? But I won't know if you don't tell me. So the books, MREA, MREI, the shift, flip, hold, whatever it is you want to do. You want to invest, you want to rent homes out, whatever you want to do. If you're going to buy one book, you're going to purchase one book after this class, I would buy the one thing. That's the one that you should buy. It's going to help you, your personal life and your business life, spiritual, everything. It's going to help you really, like, just look at what you're doing and not doing. It's just trust me. It's a good book. And it's a Keller Williams book. On page 71, there's a couple others. Being learning based also can mean getting a coach. Oh, here's some of them. Oh, there's all the books. Sorry. I'm just going off now, but these are all the books that, this is like the whole series that Gary Keller has written. So whatever you want to do, there's a book for it. Okay? The one thing, the one you should get. KW Maps, KW Connect. So Maps is a coaching program. If you guys don't have a coach yet, I would definitely look into what that costs. Make that a goal of yours to get a coach. It's extremely important. If you don't have a coach, look for a mentor that can help you. Sit with Jay, sit with Sophia, whoever you want to sit with to discuss your goals. It's important that you're checking in with someone and that someone's holding you accountable to what you're doing. Because no one succeeds alone, and let's be honest, if we were in charge of ourselves, we just won't do anything. So, all right, here's another partner plan. Share your goal with your neighbor. Be consciously incompetent what you don't know and really commit to learning. Okay. And think strategically on how you can leverage KW University. So what I want you to do is talk to your neighbor or whoever you partnered with before. Share what your goal is. Share basically what do you need to learn, or what do you need to learn, what class you need to take, what coach you need to, whatever it is that you need to do to reach that goal so you can learn more and reach it. And then talk about how Keller Williams University can help you. If your goal is to hire your first assistant, you would talk about hiring your first assistant. Maybe I should take that class. Maybe I should talk to someone who has hired someone. Whatever your game plan is as far as learning and gaining knowledge in order to reach your goal. If you're not in real estate, then it can, whatever class you need to take, right? You need to go to a seminar or whatever it is. If your goal is separate, like let's say fitness or something, maybe you need to talk to, like when Lorena does her health and fitness situations here, she brought someone in who knows all about supplements. Before that she brought someone who had a gym. So take like 3 minutes to discuss what your goal is and what you're going to do to learn in order to reach your goal and which class you're going to take. Ready, go.
This is a different goal.
Same goal. You're going to do the same goal we've been talking about the whole time.
So we're doing this?
I'm just going to be learning more from like city
I think what I gotta do, based on everything, I can look at and make sure, because I want to see things going, I don't want to forget. But I think what I need to
from my
do
business, so I would want my actions to be copycat.
I got it,
I
Well, in order for me to get a monthly check, I have to buy some college. In order for me to do that, I'm going to need a lot of investment property. But I'll take one start. I'm a firm believer in starting small and just duplicate. So I was talking here, identify the income property, identify the price, so I think what I'm going to do here,
Based on the actual.
I don't know whether we should, I think the way I try to swap is, instead of finding 10, I gotta figure out if we can somebody, that somebody that's following me.
It's real easy because I like process. That me and her did like all the house.
I figured if I get 10, it's probably going
we would like sit back and so I like this is fun if you don't
so that
that's where we go to I'm always not but then it also just once you think about something you kind of make the script here it's in agent, mortgage,
Okay.
so like even just memorize that's the script I go for.
some kind of.
Alright guys, start wrapping it up.
At least that's all
Mine is very simple. I need to master, like, whatever I'm doing right now, I have to master. That way, I want to be people go to when they want to know. This is so I want to be.
Alright guys, let's wrap it up. Sorry. I'm glad you guys are talking though. How scared you were. Alright, so what are some ahas you've gotten from being learning
I
based?
saw you close deals the other day. Walking
Anyone? Some ahas?
Was that for the property vendor?
Or what did you get out of this section?
You're on it.
Continue educating yourself,
That's
just always continue.
Always, always, always. You can't stop.
If you're not learning, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yes, and you don't want to die. If you're not growing, you're dying, for sure. If you're not growing, you're just there. So continuously growing, always looking for other opportunities. If you see someone doing something you want to be better at, go learn from them, ask questions. Keller Williams is a company where everyone shares everything. It's very rare that you'll find an agent that's like, oh, that's what our team does, but I can't really share that with you. Like,
Our secret.
that's weird. There's plenty of business for everyone, okay? Like, everyone in Keller Williams shares. That's why Family Reunion is so powerful, because it's just a whole bunch of top producers sharing all their secrets with you. Like, it's so awesome. Right? So Keller, that's one of the biggest reasons why I love Keller Williams, because I have been in other offices and I was a lender in other offices that I'll go visit them, and people don't want to talk about it. It's like it's so weird. You know, it's ours. Like, no. I can tell you, the Gutierrez team, we share everything. So if you guys ever have any questions on literally anything, if anything, Hector sometimes tells me to shut my door sometimes because I get distracted. But anything, buyer's packet, seller's packet, scripts, whatever it is, like, we will always share it because we stole it from someone at one point, right? So, and the least we could do is share. All right, next one, remove your limiting beliefs. High achievers remove beliefs from their thinking that hold them back. We talked about limiting beliefs, I feel like, throughout this whole thing, and it seems like it's something we all deal with.
It's a daily fight with those things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, it doesn't say that.
P.S. Look at the
So remove your limiting beliefs. Think of a time in your life when you had a limiting belief that you needed to remove. A limiting belief that you had that you needed to remove. I had that this morning with this class. I was like, I don't have a story. What am I going to tell these people? They're going to be other people. Maybe I don't want to be good at this. Other limiting beliefs. We're not ready for an ISA. We're not ready. We were scared to hire an admin. We were scared to hire Brenda specifically because we knew that she wasn't beginner. We knew that we needed to create value for her. That was super scary. That was very scary. And she's a good friend of mine, so I can't let her down. There's so much pressure in that. But we hired her, and now we're already, we have 10 escrow closed, 10 in escrow, and last year total we did 19, and we're already there.
Good job, Brenda.
If we would not have done that, we would not be there. I tell her that all the time. I know she doesn't believe it, but it's the truth. When you hire the right people, your business will grow. And I know that by doing that and removing that limiting belief, we are where we are because of that. We could have said, let's hire a beginner admin, right? Pay them less, and they'll just move paper around for us. And we would have felt like they were doing stuff, but they're not. So it was worth every penny, in my opinion. All right, the second one. How did you do it? We just did it. You were scared and you did it anyways. That was me. Think of a moment for yourself when you needed to remove a limiting belief. I would think that every mom here has a limiting belief. As soon as you know you're going to be a mom, like, oh crap, I'm going to do that, and then you have no choice but to do it anyways, right?
Yeah.
So how did you do it? How did you remove that thought? The next one, what new successes came your way once you removed that belief? For us, we're gonna double our business because we took that leap with Brenda. We removed that limiting belief. And now we have an ISA, so maybe we're gonna do more than that. We will do more than that.
We will.
We will do more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we removed those limiting beliefs. They were there, and they were coming in hard. Hard, Sophia jokes all the time, but Hector can stretch a penny real far. Real far. So hiring for him is not his favorite thing to talk about. He doesn't want to think about it. He doesn't want none of that. So for him, it was really hard for him to take that leap. I don't think if Brenda wasn't here and she didn't create the Indeed ad and did all the things, he probably would not have done it. Because he would have been like, oh, I don't have time to do all those things. Right? All right. So we're going to fly by this because y'all talkers. It takes me a minute to get you back. I told you guys I'm going to get you out early, so we're going to keep going.
It's usually this corner over here.
Yeah, over here. All right.
Look at me.
So here's what we're gonna do. Instead of doing this partner situation, because I did tell you I want to get you guys out earlier, I don't want you to skip this part. Who's gonna be brave and share a limiting belief that they've had that was holding them back, or that they have right now?
Arlen? I'll share one that I had, but it was actually, the people around were actually forcing me even more, to be honest with you. Like, I grew the company that I got licensed with, it was in the first 3 years. And I was ready to go to the things. A company like this, it was a mom and pop shop. And the whole thing was like, they don't treat you like family over there, they don't do this, they don't do this, they don't do this. As it was, I was already thinking like, crap, I'm going away from what I know, I'm going away from home into, the real world, blah, blah, blah. So I already had enough on my head. They get that implemented even more. And to eventually, I think I gave them another 5 years. And eventually I said, I'm out of here, because I just wasn't growing. I wasn't growing, and being the bigger fish in the tank, it's not fun at all, to be honest with you, because you just, especially when you know deep inside that you're meant for more. I was like, I told him, I said, I'm sorry, I mean, honestly, right now, you can cry, you're not gonna hold me back, I'm out of here, and I hope I just live with your blessings versus, being upset, and I live with it being upset, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, so you have limited beliefs, sometimes people around you will put on you stronger.
And what did you have to do to remove that limiting belief?
Eventually realize, to be honest with you, that what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? And so ever since that day, every time my limiting beliefs are coming in or doubt starts kicking in, whatever, I always tell myself, like, well, what's the worst that can happen? Like, as long as I don't die, I can rebuild, I can redo it, I can start from scratch again. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing to lose, and I have it all to gain. So, yeah. And I really like tell myself that in the mirror, like, what's the worst that can happen, or and I just make that move, take that step.
I have a group of girls that come to my house, and we do like a Bible study and stuff, and it's like a love-hate relationship with me because I am very I don't allow people to skate by going the easy route. I don't allow it, especially when I know they have the potential to do more. And I believe that God has blessed me with what I have so that I can share that with people. And I believe that I was gifted with the ability to tell you straight up, but not hurt your feelings, but make you think, So this, one of the girls in our group, she became a mom young, and she always wanted to be a teacher. She wanted to go to college and be a teacher, and she never did because she had one kid and then had two more, and then everything got put on hold. Well, now her kids are at an age where they can go to school, and she signed up for something to where she can start like maybe taking some classes and stuff. And now they're calling her to get her started, and she keeps avoiding the call and avoiding the call and avoiding the call. And I was like, well, why? And she's like, I don't know, for like the longest time. I'm like, you know why you're not answering the call. Why are you not answering the call? She's like, well, what if I try and it doesn't work? What if I try and I fail? And then I said, well, okay, like, what if you try and you fail? That's one thing. So what if you try and you fail? Like, where are we at after that? And she was like, I was like, what would happen if you tried and you failed? What would happen? And she's sitting there, I don't know. I'm like, Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, and she's crying now. It's all dramatic. Like, what would, if you try and you fail, what will happen? And she's like, nothing. And I'm like, that's it. And then Brenda's like, don't you hate me? She does that. I don't allow it. I don't allow it because I was not supposed to be here talking to people. I was the slow kid. Like, are you kidding me? And there's all these women who are like smart, and I can see it in them, but they can't see it in themselves. So like, what would happen? What would happen if you got on the phones and dialed and everyone hung up on you? Nothing. Literally nothing would happen. It would be free. Nothing would happen. And, sorry, I thought you were raising your hands. I had another girl too in the group, and she was gonna take her test for RN, and same thing. I don't think I'm gonna take it because if I don't pass, and I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, and I had just met this girl. It was her first day at our little group, and they told her, like, we told you, don't be bringing stuff like that up because Aurora's not gonna, like, she's gonna tell you. So she was like, I'm not gonna take it because, I just feel like if God really wanted me to do this, like, He would, line this up and this would happen and all these things. And I'm like, and I told her, I said, okay, well, here's what, I asked her the same thing. What would happen if you did it? And she said, nothing. I was like, I'll tell you what will happen if you don't. Your kids will see that you did it. Your kids will see that you did not try because you were too scared. And then your kids will make it okay to not try because it's too scary, because that's what my mom did too. So if you're cool with that, don't take the test. You're absolutely right. I don't have kids, but I did watch my parents not try anything, and we were stuck in this little, for no reason, because they just didn't want to try, probably because they had the same limiting beliefs. So that's what I told her, and I was rough on her because it was like, serious, like, you went through all the RN school and you're just not gonna take the test, like, girl. Like, I just wanted to shake her, and I just met this girl, so I was like, okay, well, you go home and you tell your kids that they shouldn't try at anything because they might fail, and that sucks. And then if you're cool with that, then hey, that's cool. So she took the test and she passed. And she was so grateful, and she was texting in the group chat, like, oh my God, you passed. Like, you see? It's just us. It's that second thought that takes over.
You're like, give me 50%.
Yeah, I get free medical for life. But yeah, like, so now she's gonna be a nurse. Like, she would have stopped herself from that. She would have stopped her family from receiving from that. How crazy is that? Like, or mine.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Well, one thing for me, right, that I have learned is that also environment has to do with, everything to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have the right mindset, right, we always talk about this when the men's room. If you have the right mindset, you can read all the books, you can, attend all the seminars you want, and you want to be a professional student, like Aurora said. But if you go back home, and then you go back to your spouse or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and then, they throw, and a lot of the times it's going to be the family.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's going to be the family. They're going to be the first ones judging you, knocking at you, and telling you all these things. So environment has everything to do with it. And if you're not in the right environment, all of that is going to be, it looks nice, and then you're going to say, well, but I just can't. That's not me. And you're going to start to believe that. And that's the way you're going to start to show up to people, and guess what? That's the vibe that they're going to feel, and that's exactly who you are. Because you said to yourself that is who you are. Mm-hmm. So being in this environment, I believe that being in this environment, you're gonna have, she's her story, I have my story. I'm sure all of you guys have your own stories, and it's what makes us very unique, And I think that everybody here wants the best for everybody. At least I know, and she does. She does as well. Derek does as well. And Arvin does as well, because he's always adding value to everybody. So I believe, and I know that environment has everything to do with it. And if you're not, it's gonna kill you. Mm-hmm. It's gonna kill you, and you're gonna start to believe that that's what it is. And that's it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm set for this. This is my story. I told you that was gonna happen. Mm-hmm. So that's what I wanted to share. That environment is everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
I agree, I'm a testament to that. I really am. I came from an environment that was so negative, and I came here, and it's the total opposite, and I've seen myself grow to where I've never grown before. So, yes.
You show.
Your environment has a lot to do with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, it's everything. If you guys are just starting and you just can't seem to make it work, get with people who are making it work and ask them what they're doing. I guarantee you everyone here is willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
Everyone. And then for us who are already in production, we have to stay and keep looking and digging and keep masterminding and keep having all these conversations because our challenges are different. But it is all environment. That girl taking that test, like I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so awesome. She was literally not gonna take her test. And like, and her friend, one of my friends brought her, she's like, you have to talk to Aurora. Like, but I didn't know that. I was just doing this Bible study. We were talking about the story about Hannah, and we were just reading the Bible. And then I just asked, and she's like, oh, and this is what's going on, and she was so stressed. And then I was like, I moved my Bible. I was like, you're taking that test, girl. Like, I was not gonna allow her to not like, no, what are you talking? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? God doesn't want that for you. Like. It's so much for us, like exceedingly abundantly is what the Bible says. Like so much. I mean to get like churchy, but like it's what it says. So like no, like you gotta go for it. You gotta do it. You gotta try. And I actually one of my limiting beliefs was I didn't like to share my goals and I didn't like to share my achievements with people because I thought that. People would look at it as I was bragging about it because I grew up thinking, right, wealthy people who like they're not nice, they're not good, they're mean, they're evil, whatever. They think they're better than everybody else. But then I realized, okay, somebody shared their dreams with me and somebody showed me what was possible here in real estate. And I was like, ooh, I want to do that. Somebody did it and inspired me to do this. Somebody bought more than one home. Somebody like invested. Somebody did that, inspired me to do it. So why am I gonna hold back from inspiring somebody else to do that? So like with the girls, I used to hold back. I used to just keep my real humble, like girl, like oh yeah, we're just, debt free, like it's a big deal, but still, I was like, yeah, it's cool. But then this last time when that girl came, I was like, my goals are I want to buy 17 more homes because I want $200,000 in passive income, and I want to build my 4,500 square foot home on that lot right there, like because we already bought it, it's right next to my house. And I was telling you all this stuff, and I was just like, in my mind, I was fighting it, like, girl, stop, but like. Then what the feedback that I got was, that's so crazy, you're from Paris too. Like, you're from Paris, and we're all from Paris. All the girls were there, except for Brenda, she's not from Paris. But we're all from Paris, and you're like doing it. Like, that's crazy. And it makes them feel like, well, I'm from Paris, and I can do it. Like, I could do this. And it was so liberating for me because my limiting belief was they're not going to want to come back. They're going to say that all I talk about is what I have or whatever. But no, it was just it's more of an inspiration for other people. Like some of those girls went to school with me. They know that I was not that person that anyone would have expected to like make it. And I'm not even getting started. Like I'm barely getting started. Like our business is barely doing its thing. So that was my biggest limiting belief, sharing what I wanted in life. I thought it was not okay to do. Like, I don't know, with certain people, So, let's keep going. Oh, well, that was the end of that. And then, is this helping you guys?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We're like basically done. Page 84, I highlighted this quote. It says, your complaints, your drama, your victim mentality, your whining, your blaming, and all of your excuses have never gotten you even a single step closer to your goals or dreams. Let go of your nonsense. Today is a new day. That's my kind of love. When I read stuff like that, I'm like, yes. Stop being a little baby. Yes. Being a victim is not going to help you. It is up to you. If it is to be, it is up to me. That is one of the bold laws. If it is to be, it is up to me. Whatever, like I told you earlier, show me your calendar, I'll show you what your life looks like. Show me your diet, right? That's how we look. Like everything that we do is because that's what we choose to do. So let's own it, be accountable, and fix it. Correct? All right. Step 6. Be accountable. It's like super tiny on the screen, and I think on your printout it's like weird, but I'm going to share the slides with you. But it talks about, are you a victim or are you accountable? Honestly, a lot of us are victims. It's easier to be a victim. It feels good to be a victim. You get pity, you get hugs, you get people supporting you and stuff. Like, it's nice. It's nice. So, victim doesn't seek reality. Someone who's accountable seeks reality. A victim fights reality, and an accountable person acknowledges reality. So on the second one it says, that's not the way it is. That's not how I see it. That's your perception. Someone who's accountable says, this is the way it is. I got it. I'll see what's going on. So you take it full on and you accept what is. A victim will blame, and it'll say, like, they'll project on others. If everyone would just do their job, it's not my fault, it's yours. The market, it's the market, right? The economy is to blame. Why didn't you do something? Someone who's accountable owns it. If it's to be, it's up to me. What do I want? I've got to do something. This is my responsibility. A lot of people in real estate right now are worried about the market. Yet here we are, not even halfway through the year, we're already doing everything we did last year. Total. Is it the market?
Most of mine.
It's our mindset. We put our head down and do what we had to do. Because they told us the market's going to be hard. You have to work twice as hard for the same result as last year or the prior years. So as soon as we heard that, we started working harder, and there are our results. Period. There's no secret sauce to that. We also got Brenda.
That was secret sauce.
That was the secret sauce. I like it. All right. Brenda's working her butt off too, though, so we'll say that. All right. Someone who's a victim has personal excuses. Nobody told me. It's not my job. I did my part. I was never even given a chance. It doesn't work here. I did what I was supposed to do and it didn't work. I can't think of anything else to do. Someone who's accountable will find solutions. What are my options? How can I get what I want? What can I do? And then the last one. Someone who's a victim waits and hopes. We got a lot of that in real estate. Waiting and hoping. Right? This is good for even like your clients who are waiting and hoping for everything to line up perfectly. Right? If it was meant to be, it would happen. Let's just wait and see. We've done all we can do. Let's just wait and see what time will tell. It's out of my hands. The proof will be in the pudding. Right? And someone who's accountable has an action plan and gets on with it. Let's get started. Time's up, let's go. This is what I will do. I was never given a chance, and that's okay. Let's do it. And let's go on with it. Right? Market sucks. Damn, gotta work harder. That's okay, let's do it. Rates are higher. Damn, I really better be good at my scripts because it's gonna take a lot of convincing these days. Screw it, let's do it. We need an ISA, that's an extra salary. Well, if he can book a few appointments and we close him, he pay for himself. Screw it, let's do it. Right? But I still need to have my buyer's consultation ready to go. That's why I haven't started anything. Aurora has one ready, let's copy hers. Let's do it. Right? So it's really, are you accountable or are you making excuses? Because there are people right now killing it in real estate. Killing it. By themselves, no team, big teams, they're killing it. Why are we not? What's the difference? The mindset. There are people making a buttload of money in this market right now.
Yeah.
There are billionaires in right now with the way the world is and blah, blah, blah. There's people making a buttload of money. Investing, selling real estate, buying real estate, whatever. Why are we not? Right?
We're afraid.
We're scared, still limiting beliefs, yeah. Our coach that taught us this class said, and this can also, by the way, lead to depression and anxiety and all those feelings. When you talk to yourself like this, that's what that creates. I tried, but nothing ever works for me. Every time I ask, nobody answers. Every time I call, they say no. Like negative. That will cause sadness. Like it's just common sense. So you have to have it in you to turn it into a positive. It's okay, I'm gonna make another call. My next call is gonna answer. My next call is gonna say yes. Right? Every single time. The coach said, depression is living in the past and anxiety is living in the future. Right? Depression is living in the past, anxiety is living in the future. And usually depression and anxiety is going to come because of people, places, and things. That's usually where it's going to come from. And by the way, hope is not a strategy. You cannot hope for things to work.
No, it's a strategy. Well, I'm hoping.
And it's very hopeful. Yeah. Very hopeful. That's why, and going back to my personal example with my testing, that's why I did it. Because I needed to know, like, do we need to go back to the doctor and see what's going on? Or am I just gonna hope everything's fine? Right? How bad do you want what you want? Page 87 on your, I'm kind of making this my own at this point. I'm almost done, I promise. There we go. Okay. High achievers are diligent about being accountable. Here's another exercise, but we're just going to go through it like we did the other one. Think of an issue or a problem that you're struggling with right now. Think of an issue or a problem you're struggling with right now. You have 2 minutes to complain about it to the classroom. Does anybody want to complain about something for 2 minutes? Who would like to participate?
2 minutes is not enough. Yeah.
Who would like to? Who has an issue right now that they're dealing with?
Arlen.
Who has an issue?
I'm your issue.
Does anybody have an issue that they're dealing with? Don't be shy. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to complain about whatever you want. Don't judge me.
We all have issues.
Nobody?
Like that issue.
All right.
Issues.
Let's see. What's an issue? What is an issue? What's an issue? Has anyone lost an escrow? Has anyone?
I did.
Okay. Awesome.
I got one back.
Tell
I
us.
did lose it, so.
Okay, tell me what happened. Tell me all the negative things that happened, how you felt. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to do that on that escrow that you lost.
Okay, so I got the listing of the manufactured in Anza. Not in the greatest shape because it was a rental for a little while. Actually, it was not really a rental. It was kind of like a brother-in-law lives in the house and doesn't pay rent, but he's making sure the property is kind of okay. Seller puts it on the market with me and we try and get it straightened up. Brother-in-law will not leave.
Oh, goodness.
He doesn't want to leave the house because he's staying there for free. And he doesn't want to clean up anything, even though he knows the seller is in Ohio and it's just me. So I'm trying to get everything done. We get into escrow, it was on market for a week. When we get into escrow, they They go and do an inspection, and then they pulled out like 3 days later and said the inspection was too much, so we're gonna go ahead and just not follow through. So I had to put it back on market, and then seller had to come down and start cleaning everything out in Big Brother. We got it in escrow again, so we'll hopefully do that. But it was very stressful trying to deal with a third party, because I never talked to Brother. I only talked to seller. So trying to get that stuff done.
Thank you for sharing. How do you feel?
I just want to go.
Not complaining. All right, so utilize the be accountable steps to work through and write down the necessary approach for your actions. So you put it back on the market, and I'm sure you have a different game plan this time around because of what you already know the challenges
All
are.
inspections are done prior, and it is an as is, and it says very boldly in the listing, it is as is, only repairs to be done are FHA required.
There you go. So what she did, and she could have, believe it or not, there are people who were that baby just too much to deal with. It's possible, trust me. There's people out there that will let something go like that. But you're choosing to be more clear so you don't run into the same issues and get paid. Because you did all that work and you weren't going to get paid.
So now we're away.
Exactly. All right. This goes back to what Marcelino said. Accountability, the people in Mark King's box. Mark King is one of our leaders here in Keller Williams. And these are 5 different sections in your life where you should have some type of leader or mentor in. Right, so for Mark King in the financial, Gary Keller and Dr. Thomas Stanley, those are the people he looks for whenever he thinks financial and wants to set his goals. Spiritual is Jesus Christ, Grandpa, and Pete Renfro. For physical, Dr. Jason Fung and Thomas DeLauer. And for business is Gary Keller and Carl Liebert. So who are your people? Who are your people in each of these sections? Who are the people that are making you better in each of these sections? If you show me the 5 people that you hang around with the most, I will show you what your results will be, and I will show you what your life's gonna look like. My dad used to say that to me all the time. He said, "There's nothing wrong with my friend, Dad." And there we are. There was. So it's true. It's true. It's the people that you hang around with. I tell Brenda all the time, like, this lonely at the top, bro, you know, sometimes it's okay, you have less friends, but it's all good. It's okay. Because once you hit a certain level, you don't have time for the drama and you just don't. But you have to pick who you're going to follow. Who is already killing it financially that you want to follow? Who's very spiritually connected? Whatever it is for you. For me, like, it is Jesus for me. It is. And honestly, one of them is also Hector. Hector is very, very disciplined with reading his Bible every night and praying every single night, no matter what. Me, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes if I'm tired, I land on the bed, I'm out. And it doesn't matter. Hotel, wherever we're at, he's going to get on his knees and he's going to pray. And that's why he's one of those for me too. It used to be my dad until he passed. But now it's Hector. Not because he knows everything, but because he's just more connected with it. And he stays knowing the Bible and stuff like that. He studies it. Physical. Who are you following? Is there a trainer that you like? A bodybuilder, a doctor, for just like, I don't know. I don't follow doctors, but there might be the celery juice guy, I don't know, whoever you follow. And then there's business. For me, a huge one is Sophia. I coach with her once a week. We're reading a book together on leadership. And honestly, she's the one that gets me and Hector to do scary stuff. Jay is on here for me too, because she helps me with our hiring process a lot. She has helped us with hiring Brenda, hiring Jeremy. She knows a lot about the hiring process, so I go to Jay for that. So who do you have in your circle that's going to help you with these things? It's going to help you get better. Who are your mentors? And if you don't have them, Get them. Find them. So in your book, what page is it? Page number 91. On page number 91, that's the page you're on, sorry. Page number 93, you can write your people in your circles. If you don't have those, then at the bottom it says add by. By when will you have someone to add on there? You have to find the people who are going to help you be better. You have to. Because you don't succeed alone, and there's people who are already killing it at things that you want to do. Find them. Find those people.
When we find them, fill in the blank.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to tell you where to find them?
Where to find them?
What do you want to find? Do you want to find financial, spiritual, physical, business? Which?
Financial and business.
Everywhere, man. What are you trying to be good at?
So I'm sharing with Danny the investing part.
Okay.
I want to figure that part out to where I'm at the part where I don't know what I don't know.
Okay.
At that level chart that you have. So right there.
Okay. So if you guys didn't hear him, it's financial because investing, right? You want to learn more about investing. Sophia just started a network club. And there's people in there of all levels. People who are still in debt and have no idea what to do and how to get out of debt and start investing. And then there's people there who already own multiple properties. And then Sophia has a lot of experience in that, so there's a network club. Doesn't mean you have to follow Sophia, but there's people in that group who also have that same goal as you. So I would recommend coming to that net worth club and really going in on it, because you're going to learn, and you're also going to meet people who have that same goal and some people who are already doing it. Now, who you're going to connect with, I don't know. It might be Hector. It might be Arlen. I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be for you. Everyone's different. For me, it's Sophia. Like, me and her she just knows when to yell at me and when to not, and stuff like that. So it just works for me. So where to find them is go where they're at. Where does someone who's super physically fit go, right? Or health, if it's not like a fitness situation, but a health thing, maybe you start following a certain type of doctor, right? That's really into health. If it's spiritual, maybe you start going to church, right? Or whatever it is for you, right? And if you are already going to church, maybe you join a small group in your church, right? Like I have for spiritual, there's a couple that they're my friends, but they're just so like, every time I talk to them, they just have like word for me every time, and I'm like, oh man, like sometimes I'm even scared to go to them because they're just so connected like that. But when I do need that, that's who I go to. That's who I look to, right?
So, just to make sure I got a net worth for the financial part, and then for the business part.
It depends. What do you want to do for your business?
I'm figuring it out.
So I think, like, for example, the PC coaching is one, right? There's also, like, if your goal is to build a team, that's something different. If you just want to hit your first, 100K and you want to talk to someone about that, there's a lot of people in this office who are more than happy to talk to you about any of that. Where to put your money, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's people that you don't expect, but like, sorry Brenda, but Brenda, she's like die-hard Dave Ramsey, like zero debt, like she knows how to budget like nobody's business. So like there are people here who can help you with all that stuff. Brenda just bought her first investment home, like they're doing things. You just gotta talk about it. Talk about it. The more people come into the office too, the more that stuff's gonna come out. We don't know, nobody talks to you. Right? So fill that out, put a date, and hold yourself accountable to it. Okay? And we're gonna leave it at that. The rest of the packet, you guys can look through it, fill it out. I'll make sure that you guys get the slides so you can watch the little videos. They're all in Connect, but I'll still send it to you so you guys have them. What are your ahas with this last part on being accountable?
Me is identifying each one of those